Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the February 4th, 2026 meeting of the Daytona Beach City Commission. We're happy and delighted to have each of you with us tonight. Madam Clerk, may we have a roll call?
Commissioner Paris?
Here.
Commissioner Strickland?
Here.
Commissioner May?
Here.
Commissioner Cantu?
Here.
Commissioner Henry?
Here.
Commissioner Reed?
Here.
Mayor Derek L. Henry?
Here. We will now have the invocation led by Commissioner Reed, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Paris. Please rise for the invocation and pledge.
Let us pray. O Lord, how excellent is thy name in all the earth. We thank you, Lord God, for a new day, a day that our eyes have never seen. We thank you for the ability to see, to hear, to touch, to taste, to walk, to talk. We thank you for life itself. Lord, we thank you for a city called Daytona Beach. And we pray, Lord, that as we sit here, that we strive to be our best and to do our best on behalf of those that we represent. We pray, Lord, that you would touch this city, because we're bleeding, Lord. We ask you to heal us in the name of Jesus, that you would touch those who find it easy to find fault, that you would touch those whose tongues are no longer silver but spew out indecencies, that you said, let me remind you that you said that any harm that should come to those of us who trust and believe in you, that vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Now, as we prepare this evening to discuss the business of this city, we ask, Lord, that you would be with us, that you would lead us, that you would guide us, that what we do would be pleasing in your eyesight. Because when it's all said and done, it's all about you, God. It's not about me. It's not about them. It's not about us. It's about you. Because this is a gift of life that you've given each and every one of us. And as we live these lives, we pray that we would be living them according to your will and that your will would be done. I ask all of this in the mighty and in the matchless name of the one and only true God, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll now move on to item number 4, which is approval of the minutes of the January 7th, 2026 City Commission meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. We'll now move on to our agenda approval. If there are any changes, our city manager will address them.
Yes, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, before I do the agenda changes, I just want to recognize 2 students from Daytona State College. They got on the elevator with me. They were like, they don't know who I am, but they're here from an assignment. So welcome to the commission meeting.
I'm glad to have you guys.
We're requesting to pull item 8A from the agenda, the Finance Department Budget Office Budget Amendment, first quarter revenue true-up, and Public Works projects to add additional information to this item. So we're pulling that item, adding to item 8H, Zone Support Funds, $500 from Commissioner Ken Strickland for Helping Hands Valentine's event at Magnolia Gardens Assisted Living Facility, $1,000 from Commissioner Ken Strickland for the Beachside Neighborhood Watch barbecue event for the police officers, firefighters, and first responders during Bike Week, $1,000 from Commissioner Paula Reed for the Daytona Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta sorority for their gala and sponsorships, scholarships, I'm sorry. $500 from Commissioner Danette Henry for the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Inc. support for their gala/scholarships. And there's another request that Commissioner Henry wanted to put on. We're adding that at the next meeting once we get all of their information from the nonprofit. So that concludes the addition and changes.
May I add to these Commissioner Ken Strickland's Beachside Neighborhood Watch barbecue event, $500.
And me as well.
And the scholarship, $1,000.
For Delta?
Yes.
$500 for me for the barbecue.
Yes. Okay.
Could you add my, for the scholarship, 1,000, please, instead of 500?
All right.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second? All right, did we? I did not hear you.
Second,
Okay.
with the said changes.
We have a motion and a second. All right. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
We're going to move on to item number 6, which is our presentations. And tonight we have a presentation from Lynn Flanders, the Ocean Center, and their 40-year celebration. Yep, she's going to grab them.
So good evening, everyone. My name is Lynn Flanders, and I am the general manager. Paula, Commissioner, I would like to say that your prayer was wonderful, and one of my verses in the Bible that I always go to is Ephesians 6:18, which is literally just says to pray. So when you started praying, I looked down at my clock and it was 6:18. I just want to say, I was like, oh, she's in the house. Let's do it. But anyway, all of that said, the Ocean Center, Monica and I talked about this, about coming and just presenting like an update of where we are with the Ocean Center. I did it last year, so hopefully I'll do this every year for you guys. The Ocean Center exists for one reason, and all convention centers do, and that is to provide an economic catalyst for the communities where they are. That is their sole purpose. And my job is to make sure that we serve that catalyst and that we provide economic impact into Volusia County and into Daytona Beach. So this is our annual report where we are just finished 40 years, and you can look through it and read all about wonderful things that this Ocean Center has accomplished in the 40 years. But the one page that I want to put your attention to, and this is going to be on my slide, and I have a clicker, and I am a boomer, so let's hope this works. There, whoa, I feel so, what? I just hear it for technology. But if you look at this just kind of sums up the economic impact that the Ocean Center does, and I think numbers, the CPA in me just says numbers tell a story. But our overall earned revenue for last year was $11.3 million. We had 471,000 people who came to the Ocean Center. And when they were there, they spent the night, 77,000 event-driven lodging nights. So our hotels were filled by 77,000 people that came to our events. From that, we had our part of the tourist development tax, with the total tourist development tax was about $34 million that was collected. Our part was $16.9 million that flows from that down to the Ocean Center. With that money, with the revenues that we were earned, we created $126 million of an economic impact in Volusia County. What is so interesting to note is we're celebrating the 40 years. We did a look back of what does that mean over the 40 years that we've been here? Was this a solid investment? Have we proven the why you put convention centers and arenas in cities? And I'm pleased to say the answer is yes. We've had over 3,500 events that earned over $2 billion in Daytona over that 40 years for economic impact. So I just wanted you all to hear those numbers because they're very impressive, and they're very they're leading numbers in the industry, ones we can all be proud of. When you look at what we did in 2025, we had 104 events. We were closed in the arena for 3 months due to renovation. So our events were off a little bit from the year before. They were 111, but we did our best to get people in different parts of the Ocean Center to during that time period. We did invest $13 million in capital projects, and I'll go over those in just a little bit. But some really exciting information to note also is that we supported 1,037 jobs in Volusia County, with the large portion of those being in and around the Daytona Beach area. 1,099 statewide, which is important whenever we're at the legislators telling why we exist and why it's important for us to have tourism in the county. We have $159 million in economic impact that we created in the state of Florida. So 126 million here, but overall, as people travel here, it was 159 million. So I'm pleased to report that we did our job, that we were able to provide fiscal or economic impact into the community, into Volusia County, and into Daytona Beach. I always point out, because this is really what is also a great, for all convention centers, but especially this one, is that we earn our revenues and we earn money from TDT taxes. We use that to operate. We do not use general funds, and that's sometimes a misnomer, but we are not part of the general fund of Volusia County. We self-support. And from that, we are able to then turn around and give money back to the general fund through sales tax. And that number last year is not on there, but it is right here. Let me see where it is. It's a 2.7 million. I'm not really sure where it's showing in these numbers, but it's right at 2.7 million that we give back to the general fund just through sales tax created from people who come here and who spend money in this county. So that is our why. And again, you have this nice book in front of you that you're more than welcome to keep and show off. We love for anybody to tell our story. But I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything, so let me pull these notes here. Just to tell you a little bit about what is next for us, we talked about spending $13 million in capital projects, and those capital projects include redoing a floor. The floor was original to the arena. It had a lot of holes and pits in it. We had basketball games. We had people who said, we need the floor level and cleaned, cleaned up, so we put in a new floor. New seats. The seats were original to they weren't the original seats, but they are well over 20 years old. And if you had been to the arena and you sat in the seats, you realized that we needed some seat revamping. So we revamped the seats. So those are in. They started that project on Monday, and that'll be finished in early April. So we'll have a new floor and a new seats for our sports community. That is a large portion and a large driver of what we do for economic impact. The other item that we did, and I know this makes one citizen happy, John, who stops by and visits me and tells me what he we need to do. But we painted, and painted the outside of the building. We painted the garage, just cleaned up the outside. We're redoing the landscape so that we're really working for the goal of improvement of that whole area. Just refreshing it. It's already a nice area, but just refreshing it, putting in that contribution. Then what events that we have coming up? I was charged when I was hired to bring entertainment back to the arena so that we would have concerts back and whatnot. We have Full Throttle, which will be here February 14th, if any of you are aware of that, but it's Leonard Skinner and Diplo and Burt Kreischer, and they will be there at Full Festival, working with NASCAR on that, hoping to pull some of the NASCAR people. It's going to be a great event. Then we are going to, after that, we literally have several contracts that are in stages. Can't talk about who they are right now, but we should be having some concert announcements that will be coming up in the next few months, which is exciting. We also started some community events. We hosted last year Celebrate Volusia, which was the first time of saying, come out and see what we do with this community that we love so much and what we all do. So this year we narrowed it down from being one giant event where we're going to do a few events during the year. We're doing 6 right now events called diving board sessions. They're free to the public. They're the last Thursday of every month. We had our first one last week, and they are where we're inviting local artists to come and play on the stage, and public's invited. It's free, and the artists, we had 3, and they're local musicians who have won some type of contest or have been juror by local SMICs. We're working with that group, a not-for-profit group, to make certain that we have a great show when people come, and it was fantastic. So I encourage you all and everyone in the audience to join us for that. We also, July 1st, for the kickoff of America 250. On July 1st, we are going to open up what we call our diving board which is on the second floor. There's an extension that comes out, and it's known in the building as a diving board. And we're going to open that up and have music playing out there so that anyone in Daytona Beach walking over and around the Hilton and in the boardwalk area, that they have entertainment playing outside to just kind of create the beginning of the month and the celebrations that will be coming forth for that. So that is a July 1st event that we'll be hosting. And then in November, we're hoping it's not finalized, but I'm very confident, a veterans concert and for Veterans Day in honor of all veterans who served in Volusia County. And that, again, would be something that would be open to veterans. So that is our focus whenever we're looking at the community, because we realize that we are that community asset. That said, outside of our entertainment efforts, we still have volleyball all the time. We have cheerleading all the time. We won back the big NCA. That was a major. It was everybody worked on that. There was not a one person was a rising savior on that one. We all worked very hard, the community, to get that back, and we're very excited that they're here. And one of the things that I think is so interesting, whenever we were talking and working through all of our negotiations with them, it was really it really wasn't guaranteed that we would have it. In fact, I was 50-50 on whether we would or would not. And they was sold to a venture capital company, and the venture capital company was the one making the decisions of where do we move it. But they sent the guy out that would make the decision, unbeknownst to us. And he went around and talked to the people at the convention or at the cheerleading and said, "Hey, what if we moved it to Nashville, or what if we moved it to to Miami or to Orlando?" And it was a consistent message, he said, of you can't move the Daytona. So it's known throughout the D1 schools for all the cheerleading as this is the Daytona. So I thought that was really cool. Yeah, that we're known as the Daytona. So anyway, hey, that's our event. But anyway, they're bringing it back, and that alone produces millions of dollars of economic impacts. We have many trade shows, as we usually do, and we will hit that number this year and exceed it a little bit for events and heads and beds and hotels, so that we'll continue to stimulate that TDT money and the economic impact in the community. So that said, any questions?
I have a question for you. You're right on our beach side. What could we do as a city in that area to make your job even better, even easier? What do you think we can do to help?
I think you're doing it. You have started the police back over in the Hilton, and that is thank you for that, because that is some of there's a police presence anywhere you're in a city and you're out at night walking. You appreciate having that police presence. So that is good. And then we're working with the landscape, getting all the landscape efforts and whatnot. And then so I think we're working on it.
Okay, thank you.
Lynn,
Yes.
how can we make sure that we don't have a conflict in programming? I know we had a situation where the Ocean Center had a program and the Peabody had a program, and I'm sorry.
They meet now with the police department.
Oh, okay, so
yes,
just communicating.
Yes, there's a great communication going on.
Good.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're doing it, and it's always going to be something. We're like, whoop, but we know who to call, and they know who to call, and we're all working together. We want the Peabody to have events when we have events, and just have that synergy that creates people in that area eating and spending money and whatnot. And we're working on that. And again, Jim Morris and his group we met with him, right after the one that you're talking about. And we got a meeting together, huddled, and said, how can we make this? And it was the parking. The parking was the issue. Let's just call it what it is. So, that's something you can do. Build a deck. build us a new deck. There you go. So you ask, and, hey, like a genie in a bottle. I'm coming out and saying, hey.
Thank you for what you
You're
do.
so welcome.
Thank you. Awesome job.
I just have a comment. I'm always bragging on Lynn. I want to thank you for your leadership, also the professionalism of you and your team. Her positivity really trickles down to everybody. And when they have events there, this is one of the leading factors that bring people to come back, is because of the experience that they had with staff and how the event and the production went on. So I just want to thank you, and I like working with you. So I hope we can continue. And Daytona Beach is also celebrating their 150th birthday, so we'll be in touch.
Yes,
So.
because we had talked about that. So thank you guys. Y'all have a good night.
Say the word, Commissioner Paris. Sequicentennial.
Okay, we're going to move on to item number 7, which is our citizen comments. And during this time, citizens have the opportunity to address the city commission on any item on the consent agenda. And my only speaker for the consent agenda is Mr. Nicholson.
On the consent agenda, B, C, and G. B is the trucks for the fire department. I understand we're getting it from they're Chevy Silverados, and we're getting them from Orlando. We have Florida's largest Chevy dealer here in town. He used to be a mayor of Daytona Beach. Glenn Ritchie Chevrolet is here in town. Why are we buying from Orlando and not locally? Did we try to buy from him? Because if we can, we should buy locally. We should support our own businesses. Secondly, the fee waiver on affordable housing. She's confined this to only 32114. We did this one time before, and I guess this was like 20 years ago. There was money available, and we only spent it on 32114. And there was a gentleman named Chris that was trying to get the downtown area on the north side, the housing fixed. There were a lot of housing that had been foreclosed, and they're just sitting there empty. So he wanted money, and he was promised this money. Not this time, but the next time. When we get more money, we'll do it. Well, more money came, and there was a project in Midtown, and they gave it to a project right off Nova Road. So if we confine everything to Midtown, we lose. There are areas on Beachside that needs this. There are areas downtown. The flooding wasn't just in Midtown. There was flooding all over the place. Correct, Ms. May? It was flooding downtown. And we have to diversify. So she's doing a good job, but we really should expand it to other areas. And lastly, First Step Shelter is not that old. Seriously, my mother had her water heater for 50 years, and these are First Step Shelters, what, 5 years old, 6 years old? And we need to replace both of them? Is this going to be a recurring thing, or did we just buy terrible equipment the first time? Because we already replaced the kitchen. So we bought new equipment, $400,000 worth of kitchen equipment, and we've had to replace some of it already. So now are we going to be constantly replacing because we bought bad equipment? The idea of buying good equipment is that they last. You don't want to, it's not like clothing or paper products. You don't want to constantly buy stuff like this. Thank you.
That was my only speaker for the consent agenda.
All right, we have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. Do we have any questions or comments?
I don't have a motion or a second.
I have a comment.
Motion on. I thought I had a motion.
Okay, I think Commissioner Strickland made the motion.
Okay,
Who's our
who
second?
made the second?
I'll make the second.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
So my comment,
yes, ma'am.
in regards to the trucks, we may have gotten a better deal. There's more to it than what you see on this abbreviated agenda. And then when it comes to 8C, the fee waiver is nothing compared to the investment that's made by Farouk Husseini. These families that she's been able to bless have gone through credit rebuilding. It has enabled them to have a home of their own. These homes are built with the finest of materials, because she puts in stuff she probably ain't supposed to put in there. Real good stuff. I've had the privilege of going to several of these house warmings or home dedications. And, you know, when you get some money or you got some money or you have a dream or a vision, you can do it wherever you want to do it. And she chose 32114. 32114 is a desert area for this city. It's the most impoverished area of this city. And I thank God for Farouk Husseini and her vision, because guess what? She doesn't have to do it. So for that, I say thank you. Thank you for what you've done and for what you're doing and for what you shall do.
Amen.
And recently, she was in 32117.
What?
Right, Derek? Wasn't she in the beautiful homes in 321? I think it was
On
8
Hollywood.
on Hollywood. Was it 8 homes?
8 homes.
8 beautiful homes over in 32117. And I went to the housewarming, house dedications as well. And to see those people who, to get to realize the American dream of home ownership. It doesn't matter where it is, where she chooses to do it, if it's in the city of Daytona Beach.
And it's being done.
And it's being done. And we're grateful.
Well, since we're piling on, I want to say to John, I think your concern is for other parts of the community, and I don't begrudge you for that. We express our gratitude to Ms. Husseini and to everyone who does affordable housing. And if we get an investor who wants to do it on the beach side or anywhere in Daytona Beach, trust me, we're going to be supporting them. You know, so we're on board. So go out and help us find one that wants to do it out there. Yes, ma'am.
For the record, also 32114 is not just Midtown. It was part of Zone 1. Now it's in Zone 3. But this is west of Nova and Bellevue. So it's not just Midtown. So thank you very much.
Yeah, correct. All right, we have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those who are opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to move on to item number 9, which is our public hearings and quasi-judicial hearings. Item 9A is a Growth Management Planning Department Second Amendment to the Sunglow Mini Storage Complex, PDG. This is an ordinance on second reading quasi-judicial hearing, an ordinance amending the zoning map of the Land Development Code to rezone 0.61 plus or minus acres of property generally located 500 feet north of the intersection of LPJ Boulevard and Jimmy Ann Drive, Wesley Street, from R4 Volusia County Residential 4 to PDG Plan Development General, approving the Second Amendment to the Sunglow Mini Storage Complex Plan District Agreement to incorporate an additional 0.61 plus or minus acres of property into the Plan District, and to revise the landscape and tree preservation requirements to reduce the overall landscaping provided on the site, authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute the Fourth Amendment, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second.
And I do have Jessica Gow here on behalf of the applicant for any questions.
Do we have any questions? No questions? All right, all those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
I'm going to move on to item 9B. It's a Growth Management Planning Department Our Lady of Lourdes Academy Gym Special Use Permit Resolution Public Hearing. A resolution authorizing a special use permit to allow for a place of worship use on 9.84 plus or minus acres of land located at 1014 North Halifax Avenue in the SFR 5 Single Family Residential 5 zoning district in accordance with 3.4.g and 5.2.b.13.e of the Land Development Code, and providing an effective date. And it's been asked that this item be continued to the February 18, 2026 regular city commission meeting due to an advertising error.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
I'm going to move on to item number 10, which is our introduction of ordinances. Item 10A is Growth Management Planning Department Second Amendment to the Midwest Transit, Inc. Plan Development General. This is an introduction of an ordinance on first reading. An ordinance amending the zoning map of the Land Development Code to rezone 226.10 plus or minus acres of property generally located west of Tomoka Farms Road and north of West International Speedway Boulevard from PDG Plan Development General to PDG Plan Development General. Approving the Second Amendment to the Midwest Transit, Inc. Plan Master Development Agreement to add development criteria for townhomes, update infrastructure language for residential subdivisions, and allow residential land uses on Lot D, authorizing the mayor and the city clerk to execute the Second Amendment, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, and providing an effective date. And are there any questions or comments from the commission on this item?
Mayor, I have some questions. In regards to this PD, it was initially approved in 2014. I wanted to know if there was any appetite for any PDs that are coming back to us for amendments. All of the information that was provided here, like the traffic study, school concurrency, was done 12 years ago. With that said, we're making amendments on PDs that have information from 12 years ago. Is there a way that we can reintroduce maybe a review? I'm not against the development, it's just I can't make decisions on something that, especially now that we've had so much development happen, especially even with traffic, it's important. I don't want to say yes to something and then we're going to be responsible for taking care of it moving forward.
Dennis, didn't I already bring something up like that with PDs that were decades old? Was that tied into that at all? On LPGA?
Details of that,
Yes.
that had to do with an expired PD.
No, we had expired PDs
Yeah.
that were decades old.
Yeah.
But
But this is not an expired PD, this is a PD that was
I
approved. and
understand,
it's still
but didn't
valid,
we
but-
tie that in there
Yeah,
with it?
To the expired PDs, yeah, that they could
But
be.
not,
That they'd have to go back through that process again.
okay, but this wasn't
But
included.
this was
Okay,
not that.
That's what I was asking.
And this particular PD, this was actually just a rezoning that was kind of shifting some of the uses around. So there were no increases in density or we wouldn't be looking, and you sent an email on the environmental impact, we wouldn't be looking at it at this point. Those are the things, the traffic, the environmental impacts, those are the things we're going to be looking at a site plan level. When they come in and when you start developing it, then we look at the impact of how is this proposed development, once we know what it is, what is the exact impact of that development going to be, and how do they mitigate for that impact? And so that's when we'll be reviewing that.
I understand that, but all PDs are discretionary. And like I said, I'm not against development. I just want to make informed decisions because once we approve a PD, once it gets to the site plan, I mean, we're approving the PD. So we're saying, yes, this is meeting a public benefit and this is why we are approving the PD and the waivers. So that's why I want to see if it's possible when something happens like this, that it comes before us again, that it gets reviewed again.
If you want to make a motion, I'll second it.
Yeah. Before you make a motion to that effect, I think you should allow me to do some research on the legality of that kind of a requirement for a PD amendment. We have criteria in our land development code. There are legal standards under state law that apply to rezonings. And I understand what you're looking to do, and I think with your permission, I'll do some research between now and the next meeting and help you determine whether that would be something you could legally require as a condition of a rezoning for a PD.
All right, that's fair enough.
But this one didn't really have anything, correct? I mean, when I looked at it, it was just,
There's no new uses.
right, that's
There's-
what I,
The
okay.
the only thing this PD is actually doing is saying that this one particular area that didn't previously permit a multifamily will now be able to.
Right.
It was permitted in other parts of the PD, just in this one section it wasn't. The commercial uses were permitted there, medical uses were permitted there, some light industrial were permitted there. This is just to say, there's maybe an opportunity to do some multifamily there, and that's what they were looking to do, so.
Dennis, I mean, I agree with you, and I understand what she's saying, but not on this particular one, I don't understand, but, Mr. Gross, but I think,
My thing is if we're approving the
yeah, but this
we're
one,
changing the use, so we're adding multifamilies to it.
We're not
No, we're
changing the
not.
use in this instance.
we're not. But if we were changing the use, I would see where you're coming from.
Are they not adding an additional use, Rob?
No.
They're not.
No, Monica, so may I please, Mayor,
Yes, sir.
Rob Merrill for the record, with Cobb Cole. Monica, this one's very simple. We're simply moving what was already allowed 50 feet over. It's just one of the developers who came in and wanted to do the multifamily wants to do it in a place next door. And if you look at the map, it literally is next door. It's there, when you talked about examining traffic impacts or environmental impacts, as Dennis said, when we do these at a zoning stage, whether it was 2014 or whether it's now, it's at a very generalized level. And it's only based on the pre-post of the things in quantities that you're bringing, which we're not changing at all. Let me finish, because what happens is, like you said, we will come forward with the site plan. We'll have to meet concurrency. So as it relates to water and sewer impacts, transportation impacts, environmental impacts, we'll have to analyze those much more fully in order to get them approved. So
I'd rather do it at this stage than wait until we get to the site plan.
that's interesting, but the point is, that, as Ben said, the Land Development Code has things that you're.
Ben will look into it and then he'll come back to us and let us know, right?
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
but let him finish.
My point is that the things that at a zoning and comprehensive planning level are a different type of analysis, and your code and your comp plan dictate what those are. We're doing it by code and by comp plan. Everything's, as you see in the staff report, everything checks off every one of the boxes, as we like to say. So I hear where you're coming from. It's a plan that's been around a while, but it's one of these long-term plans that happens over time. There's several that are still out there that are being built years down the road. Okay, that's all I had.
Okay. Now, he's done.
That's all, Mayor.
Oh,
I
okay.
still would like a review
That's
if
what
we're possible.
Yeah, I got you.
We can
Ben?
talk.
You got the review?
Yeah, I'll do the research,
Okay.
commissioners.
We have a motion on the floor to pass this, don't we?
Yes,
No,
we-
this one is an ordinance on first
It's,
reading, so
first
it's just
reading.
gonna come back for second reading on February 18th.
And I don't think it's gonna change this one. This one's not gonna change, but still she wants what she needs.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
So, and I'll state that again, the public hearing and final action is February 18th, 2026. We're going to move on to item number 11, which is our administrative items. Item 11A is Bike Week 2026 entertainment contract. This is a resolution approving an entertainment contract with Chester McNorton doing business as C-Style Entertainment to provide entertainment services for Bike Week 2026 at Daisy Stocking Park and Walnut Street at a cost of $43,000, authorizing the city manager and the city clerk to execute the contract and providing an effective date.
So moved.
Okay.
And Mayor and Commissioners, it was pointed out late in the day that the sufficiency of forms fund that's supposed to accompany this was not originally submitted. That has since been submitted by staff. And that's something the code requires whenever you're going to expend funds to show that the funds are available to expend.
Okay.
Can you tell me what account that's coming out of?
I can look in my emails and tell you the account number, but I wouldn't be able to identify what that account is for. You would need the finance people for that.
I think it was in the backup.
Yeah.
It was an account I wasn't that familiar with.
I have my book here. It's not in the.
It's in the folder, yeah.
I can read out the 14 or 18 digit account number. I don't know if that's going to be.
It's okay.
Can someone from staff tell us what account it is?
Good evening, Rose Askew, Project Manager, Economic and Strategic Opportunities Department. The money is coming from the general fund. It's called General Fund Other Contractual Services. So it's an economic development account, and it comes from that fund. So it's under the General Fund, Economic Development, Other Contractual Services.
Thank you, Rose.
You're welcome.
Oh, we didn't have, who was the motion?
And May.
Okay. All right, all those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Okay. We're going to move on to item 11B. It's a Bike Week 2026 master plan for public property. This is a resolution. a resolution relating to Bike Week 2026, providing for motorcycle-only traffic and parking in various locations, suspending parking regulation in the commercial areas of the controlled parking district from February 27th through March 8th, 2026, in accordance with Section 94-218D of the City Code, authorizing the city to operate paid parking lots at various locations in the Main Street area, authorizing various temporary activities on public property, and providing an effective date.
We have a motion and a second.
And I have no speakers for this item, Mr. Mayor.
All right. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Oh, I'm sorry, John, you do. Come on up and say
Come
your
on up.
piece. I'm so sorry, John. I apologize.
It's not the first time.
Oh, come on, man. She said, I'm sorry. We'll back it up for you. We
Yeah, I
rescind
know.
that action.
But it happens 5 or 10 times. It gets kind of old. It's been 40 years.
40
No, I'm seriously.
5 or 10 times in 40 years.
Years, and I've been here 40 years.
No. I said there are other. It's happened also with Jennifer Thomas and Gwen.
All right, go ahead.
So,
go ahead.
no, the comment is Helen Rieger didn't want to impose on the public. She didn't want to impose and take away funds from the public. My suggestion to Patty Evans years ago is rather than give free parking in the Peabody parking lot, is to charge. Everybody around Main Street was charging for parking during Bike Week and Biketoberfest, except the city. All right? We were giving away free parking. So I convinced her to do public parking. She made $16,000 the first year. So I said, you don't want to park like this. You don't want to put one motorcycle in each parking space. So I designed it so that you could put 18 parking motorcycles in 6 spots. So she went from $16,000 to $120,000 in revenue. That's a big increase. And she used that funding to bring in shows to the Peabody. So when Helen got in charge of it, she's like, no, we can't do this. No, we can't do that. So I did a design to, because at the time we were not getting any funds from Bike Week. So Beachside didn't get any funds. So I suggested putting motorcycle parking on the streets. So we were getting general funds from that, or money that went into the Peabody. But again, Helen said, no, we don't want to do that for this street, because there's a man that lives somewhere else that wants his park on this street, and so we can't do parking on that street because he wants to use it. We don't want to do food at the Peabody because it would take away from the food on Main Street. I said, Helen, there's 400,000 people. There are not that many restaurants on Main Street. They're mostly bars. They're supposed to be restaurants, but they're mostly bars. They don't serve food. So we could do that, but she said, no, we don't want to do that. So I'm asking you to look at everything, no matter what the festival is, no matter what public property we're on, like parks, zip line. I convinced Percy to put in a zip line, something to generate funds, and now the zip line pays for the maintenance of the park. We should do that with all of these things. So we should look at Bike Week, all the public properties, and if we can rent it, if we could put something on it to generate funds, we should do that. So that's what I'm asking right now, is in the future, when we have public parking, to maximize the funds, because it keeps our taxes down. Thank you.
Okay. We want to re-vote on this.
So, Mayor, in order to do that, somebody who is on the prevailing side needs to move to reconsider. That motion needs to be seconded, then approved, and then that, once that's approved, that rescinds the vote. So there would be a motion to reconsider. I think it was a unanimous vote. So anybody can move to
Anybody
reconsider.
can remove. Someone please make a motion to reconsider.
Go
I
ahead.
make a motion to reconsider.
Second.
All those in favor of reconsidering, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those who are opposed, same sign. The motion carries 7-0.
So that rescinds the vote, and you're now free to move, however you want on that item.
May we have a motion to, as we reconsider, do we want to make a motion to accept this item?
I move to accept 11B.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Do we have any additional discussion? Okay, all those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those who are opposed, same sign. The motion carries 7-0.
Okay, we're going to move on to item 11C, which is the City Manager's Office Economic Development Advisory Board appointments. This is a resolution appointing 3 members to the Economic Development Advisory Board to serve 3-year terms ending February 28th, 2029, and providing an effective date.
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
And just for the record, so that is to reappoint Bob Rand and Derek Harris and to appoint John Tamburino.
Correct. All right, we have a
And
motion and a second.
Mayor, I would like
Yes,
to
ma'am.
say something. Harry Lloyd had been on that board for 5 years, and he did his resignation, and he has moved out of the state, even though he owns 3 properties still, I think 2 in Pelican Bay. And I'd just like to thank him for serving for 5 years.
Great. Thank you, Harry.
And welcome John Tamburino.
Okay. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0.
That was our final agenda item.
All right, I saw something else down there. Oh, some discussion. 12A, Commissioner Strickland, the famous toilet to tap, Mayor Poopy Water, as I was once known.
I've already been called Commissioner Poopy Water once today.
Oh, Commissioner.
Okay?
Yeah, all right.
Can I start?
Yes, you can.
I have always been against that. I know at one time we had a test lab out on LPGA at the water plant to see if we could do that. And we closed that down, sold the surplus equipment out of there. I'm not sure that I know more than a handful of people that would be okay with it. I would like to see if we can get a consensus up here to have our city attorney research and draw us up a letter, a document saying that the city does not support toilet to tap. And whatever we need to do to get that done, I would like to see us do that. And do we have anybody up here that supports that?
I would like to go a little bit further. I actually watched the county council meeting, and they are going to draw up a proposed charter amendment. Actually, they're going off Mr. Gimbert's, and also they're also doing an ordinance, and they were supposed to bring it back, all 7 council members, and the attorney was supposed to bring it back, but he has something to do, so I think they're bringing it back the following county council meeting. And I'm not in support. I don't think any of us are. I don't see what the problem is to let the people vote. Me and Greg don't see eye to eye all the time, but I've known him since I was probably, 3rd grade, 4th grade? And I don't think it's something that's happening right away, personally, to me, but if this is what the residents want, I don't see why not. So I will make your second, did you make a motion?
For us to
I would like you to
ask our city attorney to draw something up that is legal, hopefully bulletproof when it comes to getting sued down the road about doing this, and bring it back to us next meeting so that we can vote on it.
All we need is a resolution that says that we oppose this, right?
That's right. That would be alternative A, Mayor.
Yeah.
And what about the charter amendment that actually the county's actually doing for their, and they said every city would have to do their own to let the people vote?
In order to do that, you'd have to adopt an ordinance approving that charter amendment subject to a referendum, and then that referendum, would be held if it's timely, and I think as of right now,
Right.
it's timely in the next general election.
Would you like to change your motion and I'll
Sure.
second? Okay.
Sure, let's
Wait a
do
minute,
that.
I'm not sure I understand that.
So alternative B is to adopt a charter amendment that would basically prohibit the use of black water.
Right.
As something being injected into our potable water system or into the aquifer.
Correct.
The difference being that your statement of intent in a resolution doesn't bind future city commissions. A charter amendment would, subject to potential preemption by the state.
Let's make that happen.
And also, I would like to ask a question. I know I'll second you. I would like to ask a question because we supply South Daytona's water. So if we actually do this, what happens there? Can you just kind of?
Well, I mean, South Daytona is our wholesale customer.
Right.
They receive whatever water we're
Water that
giving
we
them.
give them,
And
okay.
this would ensure that they're not going to be receiving black water through our system if we adopt the charter amendment.
Okay,
Subject to state preemption if that happens.
okay. So we
don't need a motion tonight. You just need to go back and do the work, and then we come back and.
Right.
I think it's pretty clear
Actually-
the direction is to go ahead and draft the ordinance for you all to review and approve.
I actually want the motion. Do you want the motion?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, he did a motion, I did a second.
Really?
Okay, so we're going to take public comment on this item. If anybody wants to do public comment.
Really?
Nicholson, 413 North Grandview Avenue. The discussion at the county council last night differentiated between what black water is versus water coming from the river and water coming from the ocean. Now, the submarines and the passenger ships use ocean water. They just use osmosis, and they take the salt out and drink it. That's done worldwide, all right? Daytona wants to inject water from the river, clean it up to drinking water standards, and inject that. Now, neither one of those is toilet to tap. So when you're referring to toilet to tap, are you referring strictly to toilet to tap, or are you also including the other two sources of drinking water in the future? Thank you.
Black water.
Mr.
Black
Coulter?
water.
Fred Coulter, I'm concerned a little bit about the fact that we don't have a Daytona Beach aquifer, a South Daytona aquifer, an Orlando aquifer. We have one giant aquifer. If any one city says, we're going to put our poopy water in the aquifer, there's no way we can keep it out of our drinking water. So I like the idea, but I'm just not sure it's going to accomplish what you'd like it to.
Actually, right, the state preempts us, so this is what the residents want.
Go ahead.
Is there anyone else?
Yeah,
that wanted-
Greg Gamble,
Mr.
please
Gamble?
state your name, and when you're done, please fill out a paper.
Greg Gimbert, 255 Euclid Avenue, Daytona Beach. I came to just say thank you. I'm so overjoyed with what I heard tonight. Thank you so much. It's a turning point for us. There are going to be many people who will cast doubt on this, but there is no doubt that if we don't do something, we will be herded like sheep and then stampeded like cattle into the cheapest and dirtiest way to solve their growth problem. We're only asking you to reserve protections while you still can and put them up on the top shelf of the legislative pile to where only the people can erase it. As a step to fight preemption, which they may choose to try, we drafted a charter amendment that has definitions that we call out. And we think that's so important as you consider yours. Because if we use the state's adopted terminology for any of this stuff, then we're subject to all the lawsuits and laws and opinions of everything that's come with them since time eternal, and also any changes in the future. But when we define these very common sense facts in a way that only apply to this document, then we have no baggage from anything else. Clean slate if it was. So I'll ask you very sincerely that when you consider doing this, Mr. Gross, If I may leave this with you, it's got my phone number on it. I've helped before with the charter amendment, and I'd love the opportunity to
You can leave it with my staff. and I'll-
have the opportunity to participate with you, so we have a celebration, not a controversy. This is so important. Thank you all so much. If you have any questions, man, I can take all comers on this. Otherwise, just thank you, and most of all, thank you. Anyone?
All right.
Okay, I don't have any other. Are you speaking on this item?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I turned in a slip.
You turned in a green slip for, because typically we don't take comment on citizen comments unless they do a motion in a second. So go ahead and.
Do I wait for you?
No, go right ahead. Come on up.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Oh, you didn't do
You
anything
still get
wrong.
to speak at the end too.
I'll just wait to the end.
Is it on
No,
this
go right
item, or
ahead.
you speak, if you're speaking on this item?
Okay, Nick told me I needed to, so I'll do what he says, because he's... Okay. I'm Michelle Utter. I've blessed you with my presence before, and you got to hear me last night. I'm one that has been hurt by the COVID-19 vaccine, but I'm here to talk to you about the water. Does anyone know that during the COVID pandemic that they were testing the water, and they were also doing a surveillance on the water to see how much COVID was in the water? That's how they determined was the height or did it drop? That's how they determined how the COVID vaccine, how the COVID was spreading. If you didn't know that, it's in there. It's in where? I'll pull out the information for you. I got it. I would really consider not doing this. I'm one that's still injured. I've had to go to Germany to get my blood tested because here they only test for antibodies. I'm still producing spike after 1,849 days. They originally told you that you only have spike in your body 1 to 2 days. So because I'm doing it for 5 years, would you like me use the bathroom knowing that I could potentially have mRNA spike going through there? It's just not me. There's other people. If you have long COVID, if you had been injured by the vaccine, it's something that people are not looking into. We do not have the technology here to look at it in the water. I had to go to get my blood tested over there. Are you going to be able to guarantee your constituents that the water is purified, it's clear, and it's free of any mRNA or any other bacteria issues? Are you going to give them a consent so you don't get liability later on for health issues that may or may not happen in the future? Government, they make laws to protect themselves, not us. I know because my government has really bent me over because no one's helped me. And that's the truth. If you know my story, I'm paying $20,000 a month to stay alive, and I'm going into cancer. I'm on cancer protocols and infusions now. There's a lot of things to discuss, but when it comes to future generations, would you like your family members drinking it? Any of you? Would you worry about your granddaughter or your daughter? If the baby's in utero, what is happening to that baby? There's future generations to think about because I don't want my grandchildren and my future grandchildren having to worry about this later on. Our water needs to be protected. Our families need to be protected. And if I'm going to be dying from this, I do not want anyone else to die from it either. And if you need any of my information, I've been a Governor DeSantis roundtable. I have all the information and my Germany documents for you. Thank you.
Got a motion, got a second? All those in favor, let it be noted by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 7-0. Now, move on to commission comments. Who do we start with tonight? Commissioner Parrish, welcome back.
Thank you, Mayor. Good to be back. I spoke to Jeff Brown today because I was curious to see where we were at with the Bike Week Master Plan guidelines. So I know we had it on an agenda. It was pulled. So I asked him where we stand right now. So he referred to, I don't know if he's still here, if he wants to speak on it, but from what I understood, he says he's still waiting on us to get information back to him. So is this something that I would like to finalize what we're doing with the Bike Week master plans? We had the workshop, we never really revised anything, and we're still at the same point. Is Jeff still here? Probably not. Okay. So city manager, what can we do moving forward to get
At the
this?
last meeting, the last workshop, as you stated, we asked for you all to submit your recommendations to us so we can put it in a package, and that is where we are. So if there are exact recommendations that you did not agree with what staff presented in the committee, we need you all to change those, and similar to what we were trying to do tonight with the CRA meeting.
Okay, so can staff send us whatever the last correspondence was
Yep.
from the workshop and what's still pending? And if we could all send in our replies of what we want to keep and what we want to change. I saw that also the new chairman, Bob Rand, for the Economic Development Advisory Board came up with some suggestions, and I'm reading it, and it sounds pretty good. So I don't know if we could also maybe get a workshop on this, where we want to be in 20 years, where we see ourselves, even economically, and how we could put some of this into action. And also one of their suggestions was address longstanding blight on A1A, and understanding why businesses are failing. So I think that's something important. I think that's all I had for this evening. Thank you.
Good. Thank you. Commissioner Strick?
While we're talking about stuff that has to do with the county, Volusia Forever, over 75% of the residents voted for Volusia Forever. And I think that we need to send the county a letter that we would like to continue Volusia Forever as Volusia Forever in perpetuity, and not changing that where they can overrule us or the voters. So do I get any traction from you guys on that?
I would be in favor of that.
Yeah, me too. I'm in
Send
favor.
them a letter to leave Volusia Forever as Volusia Forever.
I'm going to stay out of that.
Okay.
Six people, 5, you out of it too?
6. Hey,
What do you?
you for it or not?
So oftentimes I'll say sometimes when we send letters that are worded a specific way, it seems that it stays with us. And so I'm really cautious with the way things can be perceived and the tone of it, and then the repercussions of it. So I'm gonna stay out of it as well, only because I don't want to do anything possibly similar to Commissioner Cantu that puts us in a bad light. I'd like us to work with county as much as we can. So yeah, I'm going to decline to go along with that. And it's because I want to be cautious with relationship building. That's my concern.
Absolutely.
We don't
and
need a motion on this one. We have 5 people who are saying that, giving him direction to bring back a letter.
Correct.
Okay.
So I'm going to interpret that to mean I'm going to draft a resolution for you all to
And then we'll
approve at the next
consider it.
meeting, urging the county council to maintain the status quo.
Yes.
And directing the clerk provide a copy of the resolution, and then y'all can look at the language and see if you agree with it.
Yeah. And, yeah, since-
And I know we talk about how we don't like the state to tell us what to do and all this, and you don't want the county to send us and tell us what to do with our CRAs and everything. I think it's better to stay out of the county's business.
Aren't we a part of the county?
Personally. I mean, well, we are part of the county, we're a city, but that's county business, this is city business. Do you want them coming to the city telling us what to do with our CRAs and everything else?
Are we telling them what to do, or are we asking, just encouraging them and
That's
asking
why
them to
I don't know what
continue?
this letter is being drafted to say,
Well,
but I was personally like my name off it.
The tone to me, the tone for whatever reason, my intuition says that the tone or how it's stated will matter at some point. And that concerns me. And given that we do have CRA issues coming up in the future, it's important. The relationship is important.
It doesn't matter really how you write it. I can tell you can write it like Disney World and Mickey Mouse, and it's still going to be, perceived because it's Daytona. I mean, that's. I mean, we can write it as nice as we want to, but I don't think we're doing any. We're telling them what to do. I think we're just asking them and saying this is what we would like to see. If they do it, great. If they don't, they say, well, Daytona chimed in. We don't agree with Daytona. We're not going to do it. That's great too.
So, are you telling me up here that no one has relationships with the county council, that you can't pick up the phone and call every single individual and say, hey, I want you to support this? Because right now I can pick up my phone and call every single one of them and talk to them.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, sure.
And we know why you can.
Okay.
All of us can't. And we know why all of us can't. And we have to be okay with that.
And I represent residents and citizens. 75% of them in the county wanted Volusia forever, which is perpetuity to me, not to be altered so that they can do whatever they want to with that. And furthermore, we can not say anything and sit back like we're scared. And I think y'all know that I have a problem keeping my mouth shut when I feel like I'm being slighted. And we'll continue to do that because they can't do nothing to us.
Yes, they can.
Well, what can they do? What can they do? They ain't gonna put me in jail, and they dang sure ain't coming to my house. So
They might.
let's do it.
So that right there for me would be enough for me right there. That would be enough for me.
Well, that's just Ken talking. We've asked the attorney to draft something, and just like you're saying now that you don't want your name on it or don't want to be a part of it, when we take that vote based on what he writes, you can decline then as well.
Right. Yeah. We want to send a nice, respectful letter that just addresses what our concerns are and go from there.
This is really not
That serious.
that serious. It's just not. And not saying that the issue is not serious.
The issue is.
But the issue that we are discussing as it relates to, tone, we have a professional attorney who's going to write a letter that respectfully represents the wishes of this commission. And when it comes before us, if we don't agree, then we disagree. But I do believe it to be highly appropriate for a government body that is a part of a larger government body to advocate for its constituents and to express and to lobby the position that the majority of our residents likely take. And so it's highly appropriate, and it's highly appropriate for the county council to read that letter and to make the decision that they feel is in the best interest of the county. And we all live with it and we move on. And that's all we're asking. We're not asking to fight with anyone. We're simply going to state a position, ask them to consider the position, and whatever the decision is, we will move on and hopefully continue to work as harmoniously together as possible.
And respect their decision.
So, Mr. Mayor, that was thoughtfully put, and I appreciate the fact that you restated it. I think that will go a long way. So thank you for that, and I look forward to reading the letter.
Okay. Great.
May I?
Yes.
I think what we were discussing was more about preserving what the voters wanted in the first place. Like we just said that we want the voters to make a decision on what's going to happen with the water. I don't see it as
It's the
being
same.
confrontational to the county and what they're doing.
Yeah. Okay.
And I did have residents reach out to me. It's not something I just thought up myself. So we are here to represent the residents.
Okay.
Very much like to contribute, if it's not too late, $300 to the event that helps the community work with the firemen and the first responders, police, etc. Please, thank you. So also, I went to the Chamber of Commerce event this past week with the city manager. He was there, and Commissioner Strickland was there. And the concept was, what more can we do? For me, the takeaway was, what more can we do? We do what we do, but is there anything more that we can do? And I thought it was a very strong message. And I realized that sitting there, that we have a very strong business community. And my impression is that the city's job is to support that business environment. So I appreciated the CRA meeting this evening, where we discussed, using our CRA funds in the downtown area to support the local businesses in that area. And I recognize that we only worked with downtown and the Blue Road, but I thought we made really good progress. One note was a quick conversation I had about rezoning. The rezoning process will take time. It won't be overnight, and they will have various conversations about it. They'll do research about it, and they'll come back with us if we're planning on moving forward with any kind of rezoning, as we discussed in the CRA. It's not overnight. I just want residents to recognize it takes time, and it's a process, a thoughtful one. And then also, I'd like to know, where are we with the parking situation that I was having with the marina and some of the condominiums there? Did we clear that up at all with the extra parking, or whether they could park there?
My understanding is that this issue was looked at several years ago, and we have to maintain those spaces for public use for the function of the marina.
So when you say public use, you mean public use for the marina, not necessarily public use?
And its guests, right. And we couldn't lease those spaces to a private entity that's not within the marina grounds.
So how does this affect the condominiums? They're parking there now.
One of the things that Michael is trying to do is allow for them to be able to park during the day. The problem is they want to park overnight, which our deed restrictions does not allow that, because they take away space from the marina people.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I have one more thing.
Go ahead.
I didn't recall relinquishing
It's okay.
the moment.
Go ahead.
The chief, I think, is in the building, and I just want to thank him for boarding up that nuisance property over on North Oleander yesterday. It's about time. If anybody had ever ridden by there and had people yell at you and all that junk and mess that was out there, that's quite an accomplishment. Thank you, Chief.
Mm-hmm. Yes, good job. All right, Commissioner May, any more?
Nope, that's it.
All right, Commissioner Cantu?
Okay, I'm gonna try to be quick, but I have a lot of moving parts to this, and it's actually regarding the marina, but it's regarding a little bit of everything, so I hope you guys follow along, and I've been working on this for a while. So you did see the pictures originally from the marina, and when they were trying to raise everyone's rent, and we said, you can't, to get all the code violations. Michael Starworth came up at the last commission meeting. He invited us back down there if we wanted to go. I did take another look. He has done some improvements. I give him credit, it's looking better, but there's still a lot. He showed us I showed you the blue bathroom, how it looked. He said they've repaired it 5 times. These are locked bathrooms. This is a woman's bathroom that he showed you and they repaired. Well, this is the yellow bathroom building down there in the woman's, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like right now. Could you go ahead and go through them, those 10 pictures? Keep going. Go. 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 Look, same toilet. So if there's a woman, and that, go back one. Go back, okay, right there. That's the middle bathroom. It's out of order. Go. That's a water fountain outside. Who wants to drink out of that? I sure don't. I don't know what this is, but I could give you more and more. And actually the parking lot, it looks like there's some kind of water leak going on as well. But there's still a lot of cleaning that needs to take place in there. But I do give him credit. He has done a lot. But when I was down there, I noticed some other things, just not this these code violations, but we need to do something at this marina. And go to the next slide. Okay, so when we do our budget, we go through, you know, we have our auditor, independent auditor. Oh, what are you doing? Go back to the original, however it was. Okay, right there. Oh, well, you can go closer. Where it says the city. Okay, right, no. Sorry. Okay, so when we do our budget, we have our auditor, you know, that goes through our independent auditor. So, and if you read up here, I'm only doing this, I know what you got, I know you all know what enterprise funds are, but we have, according to the city has 5 enterprise funds. And you'll see it's water, sewer system, solid waste management, stormwater improvement, marina, and office plaza. Okay, so we know what the office plaza is in the marina. Everyone does, right? Okay. And the only reason I'm doing this so they see this. Okay, can you go to the next slide? The next slide. Okay, and that's just for any residents that don't know what an enterprise fund is. It just gives you a little bit of example. The funds is used, okay. Okay, now go to the next. Okay, so our permanent licensing fees that we have been in the audit for a while, and everyone remembers when this came before us, May 2024, when they were trying to buy a mobile permit center vehicle, and you cannot buy it with those funds. And we all told them no. So they didn't. But do you see where they said the money was? I just want you to remember this. Where they say the money was coming from. Funds are available in the Permit and Licensing Special Revenue Fund. That's the money that we've been in the audit. Special Revenue Fund. Go to the next, please. Okay. Now this was on May 17th, 2023. And this was on the agenda that was adopted. And you'll see approving the purchase of 8 all-wheel drive replacement vehicles. Okay, well, all-wheel, you would think it wouldn't be a F-250, but they were. But it is kind of weird because every time we buy vehicles, it's actually right in the front. I looked at all these public works, the police, but this was on the consent agenda, and you have to go to the summary to see what we're actually buying. And on this, we actually bought, oh, there I got the summary up there. It says we bought 2 F-250s XLTs and then 6 F-250s XL. Can you go back to the original one? Back one where, okay. And you see, funding is available in Permit and Licensing Special Revenue Fund. So those 8 F-250s came out of the Permit and Licensing Fund that we've been in the audit for. Okay. Go to the next slide. Okay, you can go on. That was just a summary. Go to the next slide. Okay, and actually those are the 8 vehicles. You see the sufficiency of funds certificate, permanent and licensed special revenue fund. Okay, you can go to the next. Okay, then on April 3rd, 2024, we bought 3 more vehicles, and that says permit and license. Oh, wait, you know what? Go to the next. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to come back to that. Yeah, you mixed it up. Yeah, okay, here we go. 3 vehicles, and it does not say what kind of vehicles. And even when you go to the summary, it's not saying F-250s, but I guess we did. Go to the next. Oh, and it says, go back, I'm sorry. And it says the funds are available in permit and licensing fund. So that money is saying that we approved did not come out of the money for the audit, those funds. It just says permit and licensing fund for those 3 vehicles, okay? And I want you guys to remember that. Go to the next. Okay. That's what we approved. But this is a sufficiency of funds certificate that the chief financial officer, even though we approved those 3 vehicles to come out of permanent licensing, it actually was taken out of permanent and licensing special revenue fund. So actually 11 F-250s were taken out of the special licensing, special revenue fund, which we did not approve the other 3 to come out of that. So I just want you to be aware of that. Okay, go to the next. Okay, a marine unit. If you go up on our city website, a marine unit, and I can't even read from up here, but it was established in 1993. The Marine Unit is responsible for patrolling and safeguarding all waterways within Daytona Beach, including Halifax River, Intercoastal Waterway. The Marine officers assist other city departments in their work, code enforcement with removal of boats and other code issues and bodies of water involved. The Marine Unit also cooperates with maritime units from our law enforcement agencies when needed, including our partners of local, state, and federal levels. And actually, Captain, I think Tish Jones is in charge of our Marine unit at the Marina. Okay, go to the next slide. Okay, now these F-250s that were bought out of permanent licensing, go to the next slide. Go to the net. Look at all of them. They're really nice F-250s. Go to the next one. You see where those cars say Marine Unit, Marine Unit. You see that? You see them all over the city too. They're bought out of permanent licensing, and that's fine. They can use these out of permanent licensing all over the city. But why do we have permanent and licensing set up at the marina, driving around in F-250s, that same Marine unit? They are not equipped, they're not law enforcement, they can't pull anybody over, they haven't done any of whatever you have to do in law enforcement, and walking around with uniforms, that same Marine unit. It's the perception, and actually, I come from a law enforcement family all over. When I saw this on LPGA, I always thought, oh, these are law enforcement officers, you know, taking care of the marina. But no, we have a Marine unit that is the Daytona Beach Police, and code is under Daytona Beach Police, but we have permanent licensing driving around. And the problem with this as well is the perception. The problem is this is an enterprise zone. How are you mixing Marine and mixing permanent licensing together? That's a no-no. And there's a problem. And I don't think any of us knew this, because I sure didn't know this, because I would see these trucks all over, but I used to think, why are they on LPGA? These are bought out of permanent licensing revenue fund. Why would they even say Marine unit on there? There's a problem, and I don't even understand why permanent and licensing are even doing business at the marina, have this boat sitting there with an F-250, and it just sits there all day long. I don't even understand why this is happening. When I talked to residents down there, they also thought these guys were law enforcement. They can't do anything. So why are they sitting down there taking up office space, and they have no business? It's a enterprise zone. And I can tell you, the police are the Marine unit, and they have a boat, and I'm sure they could use a couple of those trucks, but we can't mix that stuff up. Do you get what I'm saying? And I just want to see what everybody's thought is about this, because this is not good. And I remember, I was here when Chisholm was, and some of you guys, I remember hearing about permanent licensing going down to the marina, and I heard they were told to get back in their office because that is an enterprise zone and you cannot mix that. I do not know how they ended up back down there, but they are not Marine unit and they do not have any training or any law enforcement. So why would they even act like Marine unit? Our police are Marine unit.
So is that accurate? I mean, is there an, okay, there we go. Could we,
And you're telling
could we
me
get some,
it's not accurate? Those are not permanent licensing?
Are you ready for me?
Yes.
Well, wait, before you speak. It's your prerogative to.
I understand.
To bring whatever you want here. But we don't, this is just new on us. And so you.
Absolutely.
Wait, listen, let me finish. I'm not gonna address any of it. And what I would do, we all do what we wanna do, is allow the staff to respond, but if I saw this as an issue, as a mayor or as a commissioner, which I was once, I would go to staff and say, look at all this. You need to be prepared to explain this to my residents because this looks like this to me. But what's happening in our city is that we keep getting all of this just thrown out up against the wall. And then I can't respond to it. And I don't pretend to have any clue. I can't respond to P cards, which I still believe was a bunch of stuff thrown against the wall. And I have yet to see anything that remotely shows me that it was real corruption there. I haven't seen that. And those P cards are available for people to look at, and I still gotta deal with P cards. Every single day I'm dealing with people talking about P cards. That nobody has any evidence of anything that says that P cards were a real issue of graft and corruption. And so now, tomorrow, what I'm gonna read is all of this here thrown up here against the wall when, for me, there's a different way to address it by saying to them, so that the people who manage all of this, give it to them, say, I got a problem with it if there's a problem. I got a major problem, I don't like it. I don't like what I see. And if something's wrong with this, and I don't even know anything about Marine and why it says Marine, have no clue, but if it's not supposed to say it, you're gonna need to be able to explain this to the people in Daytona Beach. If we don't handle our business that way, we're gonna continue to be a municipality that looks like we're running amok. And we are not, from what I see, just running amok. And if we are running amok, let's say it and give the staff a chance to explain things and fix it. But what we're doing, it just keeps looking like, gotcha.
Mayor,
Now,
this wasn't, I just like to.
It's just me.
I would just like to say one other thing. That is absolutely true. I just showed you absolutely proof where all those F-250s came from. They were on our agenda. I showed you where they were bought. And everyone knows what an enterprise fund is. Everyone. So if the marina has an enterprise fund, no F-250 trucks that are driving around saying Marine unit and permanent licensing bought those. And you saw our auditor that we do our budget. We have 5 enterprises. And what he's going to try to explain is Michael Stallworth has this.
No, don't speak for him.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm just telling you, there's no way of getting out of this. And if you go to our city website, it actually says that the police department is our Marine unit. These guys are not Marine unit.
Okay.
And if they can arrest people and they have training, I would like to see it.
Do you want to respond to this, or how do you want to respond, or your staff? I see it as a lot of information to respond to in the moment.
Yeah, I will. So there are a couple of things that are concerning. An email during this meeting went to my staff members from Commissioner Cantu to have this posted on the screen. So during this meeting, she went and gave the information to our staff to put on the screen.
I didn't give I gave them information to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
At about 6:45, and they forwarded it to me, and it's up there. We also met in my office, and I communicated to you with Mr. Gross was in attendance, Mr. Stallworth, and other individuals. You keep saying that the marina unit for the building officials are housed at the marina. That is not true.
So, Mama Fufa? I know, but
No,
Mama
you can't.
Fufa's?
No, you do not have the floor.
Okay.
You gotta let him answer and speak without being interrupted.
We communicated to you that we have about 40 vehicles that would be assigned to City Hall, taking spaces from City Hall, so they park their vehicles at the marina. The city building official vehicles, they take their cars, park there, take those vehicles, so they're not here on site taking up cars here. So their offices are not at the marina. They're using the parking lot for that. Yes, and the residents are in the back. I can see them. Commissioner Strickland and I were at the marina on yesterday. They are not housed there at the marina full time. There's a training facility there at the marina as well. Part of the marina, part of the building officials' responsibilities are not only to do reviews of properties on the mainland. They also do seawalls. They also have to do, so it may say marina unit. That doesn't mean that they're sworn law enforcement officers. But as you stated, all of these emails, I will have to go through the sufficiency of funds for the past 4.5 years I've been here. They go through the city attorney's office. They go through the finance office. They go to the department's offices. So we all look at those. We bring those items to you all. So all of the information that you all just seen, I need to have the ability to look at it as well. But there is no individual in the building official operating as a sworn officer or unsworn officer. And that is the key. And Mr. Morris has prepared with Glenn why we purchased certain vehicles, which we're going to share that I just received as well. But the images you all just seen were the first time I'm seeing them because she sent it to them at 6:45.
Okay. Can I respond? I'm just want to ask you a question. You're telling me just the training facility, I know about that. You're telling me there is no one down there in any offices down there from permit and licensing?
No, I'm not saying that. You're saying that. You said all.
No,
of
I'm
these-
asking you.
No, I'm not saying that there's not one person or two people. There are times when there is more than one or two people that may be working in that area, but it's not a full-time location. Their offices are here at City Hall.
Okay, so there's no one there that has offices set up right now.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
I'd like to make a comment.
Can I finish? I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
And this is not personal at all. This is business. And I can tell you, and I can bring up lots of residents that can tell you there is offices down there. These residents actually thought they were law enforcement. Actually, I see these trucks and I thought they were law enforcement. And an enterprise, you saw where these trucks came from. Okay. Permit and licensing. You cannot be mixing two entities like that, and it is being mixed entities from an enterprise and permit and licensing. You cannot do it. Look at the state law. Am I correct, Ben? Can you mix entities? Now, you can borrow money from an enterprise, but you cannot mix. Ben?
I don't understand the question. I'd have to do some research.
The question, Ben, is if you have an enterprise fund, can you mix permit and licensing into an enterprise fund?
I I really don't understand your question. Our utilities department.
Okay, Ben,
Let me
Ben,
finish. You
Ben.
asked me a question. I'm gonna answer what I know. If what you said is true, then the utilities department, which has been housed at the plaza for 10 years, shouldn't be there. My understanding of the function of an enterprise fund is to provide a single cost center identifying all your revenues and all your costs of an operation that's intended to be revenue neutral. If you're doing that, you don't want to cross-charge between that fund and other funds. But I think what I understand you to be talking about is something different. And I honestly don't understand what you're talking about, but I'd be happy to research whatever legal issues I need to research.
Okay, well, I need you to research this. You have F-250s, and you saw the pictures. They say Marine unit, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and did you see where they say they were bought out of permit and licensing special revenue fund?
Right.
Okay, and the marina is an enterprise, and we have permanent licensing driving around with vehicles that say Marine unit. And
Yeah, based on the information that I have, I can only reason by analogy. I suspect that all of the desks and chairs and office equipment.
I'm not talking about that.
Let me finish. And vehicles that our utilities department, which is currently housed in the plaza, which is also, I believe, an enterprise fund, those are paid for through the utilities department budget. And the reason why they're paid for through the utilities department budget is because they're not part of the cost of operating the plaza or marina as a revenue neutral enterprise. Instead, my understanding is the city has paid rent into the enterprise fund for the use of that office space by the utilities department. Now, whether there's any statutes out there that prohibit this thing, I
Now,
will absolutely look that up.
that makes total sense, but that is, okay, so I like what you just said there, and I think that is where you guys think that you can get around that. So we are saying that permit and licensing is paying the enterprise rent to rent and operate that. So we're paying one entity and to another entity. That is like robbing Paul to pay Peter. Instead, this could be being rent out so we could be making more revenue in the enterprise fund. Am I correct?
I assume you
With
are.
tax revenue, yes.
But hold on, I don't know that permits and licensing is paying.
Well, I
said
understand, but you
utilities.
just said that.
I said utilities is.
Correct, but
Yeah.
you just said that. And I'm just saying that would be surprising too, but I could see that happening too.
But ultimately, if you want to ask me legal questions like this, give me some time to research them.
And I'm going to give you
And I'd
guys
be
all
happy
the
to-
time you want, because I don't even think I really have to do much here. And I'm not getting mad. As I said, this is not personal. This is business, and this is being done wrong personally to me. And I honestly think when the state comes in, you're going to see I'm right. Just like you saw I'm right about the permit and licensing fee. Because I do my homework, I study, and guess what? Everything I said about permit and licensing is actually we'll get ready to do. Everything. And am I right, Ben? Pretty much everything I've been saying the whole time. I said you couldn't buy this. I said you couldn't buy this. But now we're turning around. We are settling on a lawsuit. We're getting ready to do exactly everything I just said. And I was right. Sorry. I hate to say it, but I was right. And usually I don't do that, but I am saying it now because that is what is happening.
If there were a problem,
There's laws
Let me
in
finish,
place.
please. It's my
I wasn't
turn.
finished.
Oh, well, go
You're
ahead.
interrupting me.
Well, you're saying the
There
same
is
thing.
laws in place that we have to follow, and you cannot mix enterprise funds.
4 times.
Yes, and I'll say it 5 times. You cannot mix enterprise funds.
Go for 6.
You want 6? We cannot mix enterprise funds.
Let her finish.
Mayor, can I clarify something?
Go ahead.
All I was trying to do was to state that I didn't understand the question. It's not my position here to defend staff or not defend staff. I don't know factually any of the information that you've put out there other than what I've seen tonight. Now, I'd be happy to research a legal issue, whether it's illegal for P&L trucks or any other trucks that not paid for through enterprise funds can be parked in an area that is largely operated as an enterprise. I will do that. I don't know the answer to that question tonight as we sit here, but I will do that.
I wish you would, and everything I put up there wasn't something I wrote. Everything I put up there was on the agenda and on the city website. Everything. It wasn't anything I wrote personally. Did you see anything that I wrote personally up there? Nothing.
Okay. Your time has expired if you're done.
And it was my time to speak, right?
Yeah.
And there was just one other thing I would like to say. Chief Young and the Daytona Beach PD did an excellent job the other day with that property. I know the last commission meeting, we had all those residents here, and what a great job they did. I'm sure everybody, you saw the video, I saw it. I mean, I haven't talked to them, but I just want to say thank you. And on behalf of the residents, I'm sure they are thankful as well. Oh, and I also want to recognize Bob Atkins. He's the former Vice President of the chapter, Vietnam Veterans, Chapter 1048, which is the second largest chapter in the state of Florida.
Past president.
Past president, sorry.
Welcome, thank you. All right, yes, ma'am.
May I be recognized? Thank you, Mayor. In regards to what Commissioner Cantu put up on the screen, I just have some questions, just to clarify, because I know you're talking about the enterprise funds. So my question is, even though on the agenda it said business enterprise, does business enterprise buy the vehicles for permits and licensing? And does that purchase have to come out of business enterprise funds? And is that 160 fund, what fund is that?
Mike, please.
Okay.
So I don't have the facts, but business enterprise was the group that purchased all vehicles until it was transitioned over to public works.
Okay, so but the question is, because Commissioner Cantu is concerned about the mixing of the funds. So were the funds that were used, which were the permits and licensing reserve fund, was that fund allowed to purchase these vehicles?
Yes.
It was. Okay. My other question is, does the permits and licensing have a marine unit?
Yes.
Okay, what does this marine unit do? I would like,
Oh, yeah,
Ms. Morris is
yeah.
gonna come in and talk, okay. I just want to know what the marine unit does.
Jim Morris, Deputy City Manager. I work with permits and licensing. The Marine Unit is a unit that does enforcement on the waterway. You've got docks, seawalls, other things that aren't accessible from the land, typically because you've got deep properties that you can't necessarily see things from the land. You can see them from the water. You also had a large number of boats sunk out there in the waterway. Y'all remember that.
Big deal.
You won't see them now. So what has happened with the way the Marine Unit functions is to look at damaged docks and so on, which that came shortly after 2023 when we had docks that were damaged, coming apart in a storm, going downstream and tearing up property that wasn't damaged from the storm, but rather from the debris coming from downwind, basically, or coming with the wind. That was a part of it. Then you have the seawall issues. You may also remember there was a maroon boat that was stuck on a house over here at the foot of the ISB Bridge for quite some time.
Okay, so.
We help with removal of that. So they have training facilities for both the drone operation. And so I need to segue into the drone operation a little bit because we had an instance where we had an inspector that needed to get on a roof. We didn't have ladders, didn't have a way for that man to safely get to the roof. They tried to borrow a ladder from the roofer. The roofer was someone that knew me and said, I'm not loaning anybody my ladder. It's dangerous for them. I won't be liable for what happens to them. That was the beginning of an inspection program that we now use to do roof inspections and other things in places where you can't safely access it. The cameras are so accurate on the drones that you can do that. And we have a full drone training program, which we operate in that open space. It is the old National Guard Army property that we got from the state of Florida. and they can do training there with the operation of the drones, and the vehicles are parked there. I listened to Mr. Fieter's explanation. You will see, Commissioner Paris, in the answers I wrote to you regarding the trucks and so on. There's actually the statement of parking is already in there. And yes, there's a boat and a trailer hooked up together. It says marine unit. It also says permits and licensing on the front of the truck. There's a fire marine unit, there's a police marine unit, and there's a P&L marine unit. They all do different things in the waterway, and they are all cooperative with the waterway operation that we have in the city of Daytona Beach. And if you go, you can go from Ormond to New Smyrna, you will see the cleanest waterway in the county in the saltwater part is us.
Do we know how many people are in this department?
They do different, they do both, they don't stay in one place. They are co-assigned to do the work that's necessary. So it's not as if they're in the boats every day.
How many trucks do we have? So
Oh, the trucks are, the trucks are,
how many people are using them?
the trucks are used for the entire permits and licensing operation, regardless of the label. It says marine unit, they're seen on LPGA because they're out there doing inspections. There's a little project out there called Minto, which has had quite a few inspections in the last few
These
years.
trucks are allowed to be used
Yes,
for
ma'am.
marine?
Yeah, the marine unit is an entire mischaracterization of what has been said to you tonight. It's fiction. It says marine unit on there, and they do work with that. They do move the boat, but they also do other functions. It says permits and licensing there
Permits and
too.
Licensing inspectors are
Yes, ma'am.
qualified to be marine unit people and also for
There-
buildings?
So just let's stop for a minute. The fact that a truck says marine unit doesn't
No,
mean
I just
everybody
wanna
that's
know
there.
if
I'm going to
an
answer your question.
inspector
Let
can
him
do
finish.
both.
It doesn't mean that everybody is doing that. We've got a person that's qualified and trained to operate the boat. That's who operates the boat. And in respect to that, it's not everybody driving the boat. It's very limited and controlled use of the boat to people that are trained to operate it. And we've got inspectors there to work on that stuff, but we also have permits and licensing inspectors if you're looking at structural issues like a boathouse, a seawall, a dock, those kinds of things. And in respect to building inspection type activity, so that's transport. There have been cooperative efforts with the police before the police had a boat that's assigned to them in respect to some things that the police needed help with, because we also have emergency situations and storms and so on. And Commission, you will all see the explanation I've written in
Jim,
respect. I'm
I need to
sorry,
ask you a
Mr. Mayor.
question.
No.
Well, she was asking
But you
questions.
can't
I am-
interrupt.
That's
And
not
I'm,
true.
Mayor, continue? So-
You're recognized.
Yes, sir, thank you. So in respect to the use of the 250s and so on, there's an explanation that you'll see. It's been written and prepared well in advance of this meeting tonight. Not well in advance, but prepared. The question came yesterday. When you look at the way we use equipment in this city, it is all hands on deck when you got a storm or an emergency situation. And you remember when the sheriff was downtown because he had a high water vehicle. We don't have things like that. But F-250s are considerably taller and bigger than an F-150 in respect to what you can travel through. So whether someone like Senator Wright agrees with that or not, it's not an illegal purchase or something not permitted by the law. And in respect to the enterprise fund, you heard the explanation in respect to the enterprise fund does the purchasing because that's the business arm of the city. The funds for that money, and it traces through your budget, came from the permits and licensing funds that you are aware of that are supposed to be spent for the enforcement activities of code enforcement and building enforcement in the city. That's precisely what the funds are for, and that's precisely what they have been spent for.
Okay, can I be recognized?
Are you, wait.
I just wanted to thank him while I was recognized, but
Okay.
I'm done. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Yes, ma'am. You're recognized.
Okay, Mr. Morris,
Yes,
you said permanent licensing have their boat first?
they did.
No, they didn't. Okay, so I was here when we approved the Daytona Beach PD's boat, and it was for the police, and it was for permanent licensing to share.
Dual purpose, that's correct.
Yes, I was. And then Daytona Beach started using it, they named it, and then it came back for permanent licensing to get a boat.
What difference does it make?
It does make a difference because you said it the other way around.
No, I said they had their boat first, and that is the first boat that was acquired. It was dual purpose, as you have just stated, and the
And
police
actually,
police
your boat-
realized that
I'm not
they
finished.
needed one.
I'm not finished
answering
talking.
your question.
No, you already answered
Yes,
it.
I
I
am.
asked you
From
about the boat.
Okay, I'm gonna determine who's recognized.
Thank you,
I'm
Mayor.
gonna recognize you, but I'm gonna allow him to respond.
Yeah, he did
Okay,
respond. I asked him about the boat.
I'm recognizing you now.
And that boat actually has pools where you can put fishing pools. I don't even know why they would need that. But you cannot Okay, when you go to the city website, city website and you look up Marine Unit, who are they? This is actually what it says. And it actually says Trish Jones is the captain for the Marine Unit. They are law enforcement. They work with feds. They work with the sheriff's department. Permit and licensing are not a Marine unit. Okay, so the perception that we are giving to the people that these people are law enforcement shouldn't be done.
So first of all, you presuppose that somebody is posing as a law enforcement officer. That is absolutely not the case.
I said perception. Did I say perception?
Yeah, and from the perspective of what you just said, Trish Jones is a police officer involved with the Police Department Marine Unit. There's also a Fire Marine Unit, as I mentioned.
Where is it?
There is it is down there at the Marina, just where you saw it.
Where is it on our websites?
It isn't required for it even to be there. And in respect to what someone perceives, who cares what someone perceives? It's, does someone pretend to be a law enforcement officer? No one has pretended to do that. So in respect to the way the thing has functioned, it does the things that I mentioned as it relates to the Maraude holders that she mentioned. We negotiated for purchase of a pre-delivered boat from Edgewater Boats at a time when you could hardly get a boat from them. It came outfitted that way. We didn't cut them off in terms of the rod holders. They are there. No one's ever gone fishing on the boat. It's not something, it's there at the marina locked to that F-350 that is a city truck. So it can't be taken separately when someone wants just to come and pick up a boat. It just, the amount of imagination you have to use to come to the conclusions I've heard here tonight just stuns me. The things have been used the way that we set out to use them, and that's what we have done from the beginning of the process to this day. And unless the mayor and commission tells us to do otherwise, we'll continue to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Since we have 3 Marine units in the city, could you tell me who the captain is of the permit and licensing Marine unit?
Glenn Urquhart is the chief building official. He
Okay.
assigns that.
Okay, and could you tell me, since we have an enterprise fund, we have so many code violations, this is going to change the subject a little bit, and there's 2 murals up there, and I know the commission wants murals all over the place, but can you tell me who actually approved the 2 murals that is at the marina that we paid $10,000 a piece when we could have fixed our bathroom with that $20,000? And actually, the same relative actually made almost $70,000 from the city on murals.
Most of your question I do not know the answer to, but in
Okay.
respect, I'm going to, no, don't give me that
but you
part of
don't
it.
know
I
it.
will answer your question. The question is, the painting was painted by the chief building official's daughter. That is true. That's what you wanted to infer, correct?
Yes. I'm just wondering if there's RFPs or anything that goes out. But you know what? I'm done asking questions. I want to have him keep talking because this is really good because a lot of people are listening.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Okay.
Mayor.
We'll now move on to Commissioner. Wait a minute.
You guys are in some
Okay. She's done. All right, Commissioner Henry.
I would like to know some information about Derbyshire Park. You all were supposed to bring me some things back, and I'm wondering if you have anything for me at this point regarding Derbyshire Park.
Commissioner, I wish you would have asked me earlier, to be honest, because I would have made David Waller be prepared to present something to you, but it looks like he may be coming out.
Good evening, David Waller, Public Works Director. In regards to Derbyshire Park, I'm not sure what we're due back to provide, but I'll tell you where we're at in the process is we've done an RFP, we've selected a consultant, we have a scope and kickoff discussion with them tomorrow at 11 a.m. And once we negotiate a scope, we will bring that back to you guys for award of that contract.
When will we learn more?
I mean, I'm happy to update you at each meeting. I can tell you that the objective is we're going to get a scope that'll kind of come to you in 2 phases. First phase will be a planning exercise, that he gets some input from you guys to make sure that we intend to build what it is that everybody wants to see from the community, and then we'll bring back a second contract for from the same landscape architect for the actual construction plans.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so my next question is, City Manager, I just want you to address the meters. And I see that it is an issue all over the state of Florida, so I know that we're not, it's not just us. I mean, it's probably every county, every city in the state of Florida that's dealing with it. But I do just want you to address it so that our residents know what we're doing, that we're well aware of the situation, and how we're dealing with this situation.
Yes, and as you all know, Eric from Utility is also here, that I've asked him to come out and make a quick presentation of what's going on. We provided you all with some documents and email, but I wanted him to provide this presentation succinctly about what's been happening with our meters, and so he's here to share some insight. Are you bringing gifts?
Got a show and tell a little bit.
Yeah.
Good evening, Eric Smith, Deputy Utilities Director. So in response, Commissioner, to the question, so the city's been in the process since September of last year in a meter replacement project. We're replacing approximately 15,000 meters throughout the city. I brought just this just to kind of show you a little bit of what exactly we're doing. Again, this is a new meter that's going in. It pairs with an MXG. This is kind of the brains of the operation, and then the antenna that transmits the readings over the AMI system. I believe you received a memo that I'd put together some questions. Certainly happy to answer any specific questions that you might have specific to the project.
And this is happening all over the state of Florida, correct?
Yes,
Because
ma'am.
when I was looking it up, I seen St. John's St. John's County had a lawsuit they just settled not too long ago.
Yes, ma'am. It's happening. As with any infrastructure, as they kind of get to the end of their useful life, we have to replace them. So this project is aimed at replacing, meters that were prematurely dying, sooner than their 20-year lifespan. But it is not something that's unique to Daytona Beach.
And also, we received, when we brought this item to the commissioners for the emergency purchase, what was the amount of money that we received the bill credit on for the defective meters?
Yes, sir. So $734,000 we received as a bill credit from Census via Core and Main, who supplies the meters to the city, in addition to 9,813 meters that were part of what were installed back in 2012 to 2014 timeframe. So we got 9,800 meters plus a $734,000 bill credit.
Also, when a citizen contacts us in reference to their bill, and that we are catching them up because they were doing averages, we are not going back and making people pay the larger bills.
That's correct. So as part of this project, there's no catch-up bills. So while some residents will see an increased bill, it's not a catch-up bill. It's simply because that's the amount of water that they're actually using. Once the new meters are installed, they're now being billed for the actual amount of water that flows through their meter.
Okay, so if I'm understanding, so they've been undercharged for all this time because there was a mistake with the meters. And now the new bill is coming out, and so people are saying, oh my gosh, compared to what it was, but they were being undercharged.
Yes, ma'am. So in those situations, anybody who is seeing the increased bill, as you said, was actually being underbilled for that time. The city is not seeking, reimbursement for that.
And how are you determining who's being replaced and who isn't?
So there's a few factors. So as part of a settlement agreement that Mr. Fietcher was referring to, there was 9,800 addresses that had to be replaced. That was part of the settlement agreement. Beyond that, the AMI system, again, it's a smart system, so we were able to see meters that are not communicating. So the additional meters beyond that 9,800 are meters that were not communicating or were coming towards the end of their useful life.
Okay. Thank you.
Commissioner Henry, do you have any more particular questions on this item?
No, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you.
As far as Commissioner Cantu's comments for tonight. I'm going to look forward to some of the things that Ben is going to, our attorney is going to look up. I'm going to look forward to those things, and then I'm going to really aggressively take some time to do my own research over the next 2 weeks, so that I can be aware and I can feel good. I feel good about quite a bit of the things that Jim said, and I'm glad he got the opportunity to get up and speak because it gave me some clarity, especially with the fire and marine, and understanding that they have to share the trucks, that the training facilities and the boat docks and the seawalls and the docks have to all be inspected, and that's all parts of permits and licensing. That made much better sense to me after hearing those things, but I'm going to be looking forward to hearing some more and learning some more. So I just wanted to say that definitely going to be doing a lot more of my own research so that I'm clear and not taking anybody else's word for it now that Commissioner Cantu has brought it up. Next thing I just want to say is congratulations to Commissioner Reed on her Fresh Book Festival. I heard so many wonderful comments about it. And so many people posted pictures that they, artists, authors that were selling their books. And I just think that any time that we can put any type of education in books and reading, knowledge is power, and we put that back into the community, that's an awesome thing. I haven't been able to make it to the last couple of events because we've been touring colleges with my last child on the weekends. So we've been getting some college tours out, but just wanted you to know that the Fresh Book Festival, heard some great things about it, and then the event where you got honored, the Wilson Foundation, the gala, that, sorry I couldn't be there, but we're very proud of you for the work that you're contributing to the community. And I think those are my last comments for tonight. Thank you.
What's left of my voice? You're either part of the problem or you're part of the solution. And I totally concur with what the mayor said about throwing things up against the wall. We have a staff for a purpose, and they each have a responsibility to run this city. I know we ask them to do additional things other than what their day-to-day job is. But we cannot, or they cannot do their day-to-day job if we continue to encumber them with other things. It is disturbing that rather than taking advantage of the staff that we have who run this city to answer the questions that we have, but yet we come here and we continue to stab ourselves and look like we don't know what's going on. And they can't help us because we haven't asked them in advance. If we were to take advantage of the expertise and the talent and the skills that we have within the staff that have been running this city proficiently and find out what it is that we want to know, then we don't have to come here and showboat. Even when we ask questions, we're interrupted. Repetitively saying the same thing as if we didn't understand the first time or didn't hear. I really hope and I really wish that we would stop stabbing ourselves. Every week, we're in the news for something. As long as the mayor and I have sat up here together, because we came in together, we have never, ever had the type of disorderly conduct or the media wanting to know what's going on in Daytona. Yeah, everybody has their turn. Everybody has their turn to be ridiculed or to be looked at. But most of this we're causing ourselves, because the research that's being done isn't being done as thorough. Because whether you know it or not, we find out later that what has been brought before you, that there's more to it than any of us knew, because it wasn't as thorough as it could have been. We have a responsibility, yes, to the people that put us here. We have a responsibility to be as thorough and as responsible as we can possibly be. But to not utilize what we have at our fingertips to make us the best commissioners, mayor, manager, and attorney that we can possibly be is an irresponsibility to me. On behalf of my ancestors, as we celebrate Black History Month, I hope that they're proud of what I do. I hope that I'm being as responsible as I should be, could be, and would be as I sit in this seat. I mean no harm to the city that I was raised in, born in, and live in. When I returned home from Akron, Ohio, when I returned home, I felt that I had a responsibility as a college-educated woman to not just sit at home and do nothing. When I ran for office, it was because I wanted to make a difference, not to make confusion. The Bible says that the author of confusion, you know who that is. So we want to, I've said before that we should be a team, and there are those who say we're not a team. Well, it takes 4 for a vote to pass. To me, that says you're a team. That we together, united, want to make a difference for this city. So I implore you, my colleagues, the citizens, let's let Daytona shine again. Let's take the light of ignorance off of us. And ignorance, if you know what it means, it just means that you don't understand. Let's gain understanding and knowledge, because everybody's looking for a story to tell. And ours is not one that needs to be dragged through the mud. We're trying to make a difference here. We're trying to make this city a better place to live, somewhere where people will want to come and raise their children, live a fruitful life, and then die peacefully. And if we continue to do what we're doing, the way we're doing it, it's not going to want anyone to come here. I conclude my comments.
Well, we have a lot of information in the city manager's update this week. And each week I feel like we have a lot. Just it's overwhelming how much goes on in the city of Daytona Beach. It's just a lot of moving parts. And even in listening to the dialogue earlier tonight, you realize how much there is in Daytona Beach when you are having a discussion or disagreement about enterprise funds, and then it leads to the idea that you have 3 parts of one larger institution that could all be referred to as a Marine unit and rightfully be referred to in that way because that's where they operate. Even that left me sitting here thinking, wow, you know, and I knew all 3 of them existed, but I never thought of it in those terms. And then I looked at it, I said, wow, you know, that's a lot. And we are a complex municipality. And I know that a lot of people say we're only 80,000 people, but I always tell people we function at a level that is a lot bigger than that. And it is because, in part, large part, partial part, because of enterprise funds, but it is much more because of things like the Ocean Center, who expressed tonight how many people they attract to Daytona Beach, to the area. The airport and the numbers there is overwhelming, 11% increase in terms of the number of people who are traveling to Daytona Beach annually. And, I think about a lot of things that are said, and I'm constantly monitoring what's being posted in social media, and folks complain because I bragged about the success of the airport, and they said, well, that's not a Daytona Beach enterprise. Well, no, but it's called the Daytona Beach Airport for a reason, because this city is the economic engine. It is the economic driver for Volusia County, period. And so earlier tonight, we had a discussion about that issue as it relates to how we get along with the county and how we interface with them. We're well to interface with one another well. We're better off if the county interfaces with us well, and we're better if we interface with them in a positive disposition. But we will not do the people's business and serve the community well if we're not able to respectfully articulate our differences with hope at a resolution that leaves us a better community. And if we learn nothing from tonight, it is my hope that there is always a way forward. There's always a way forward, no matter what you see. And I've had the privilege of working in public schools for the last 34 years. And the one thing that I've tried to inculcate in my students who are often in my office because they have a problem or because they're in trouble is that if you look hard enough, and I say this to our community and to this commission, if we look hard enough, we can always find a way out, no matter what the situation is. But I think we need to look for solutions as opposed to, and I won't say, and I don't mean that I believe that everybody's looking for a solution. But sometimes we have to look at each other and communicate with each other in order to find the solution. Because sometimes the solution is in front of us or the answer is there. And if the answer is not right in front of us, maybe we can work together to find the answer. So, and if you don't, and I've always, as a teacher, believed that students have the answer. I never go in assuming that they can't, if I've taught them properly, that the answer is there. So what I'm saying tonight is that what I sense is that maybe there's something that's not operating perfectly. And if that is the case, we're not going to do ourselves well by not approaching it from a solutions-oriented approach. And when you have an enterprise that's as large as this city, the budget as big as ours, you're going to have problems. What went on at the golf course was a problem. And it was wrong. It was inappropriate. But you're going to oftentimes have folks who run off, just like the student in my school who's selling candy. It's a violation. He can't come to school and sell candy out of his backpack. But I have to always remember, when I was in 7th grade, I did the same thing. I sold candy and I made a lot of money selling candy. But my reason for saying that is that just because there's a problem or someone does something wrong doesn't mean that the whole community is bad or on the wrong track. And so when we find things of this nature, let's fix them, let's move forward, because for all the things that we did today, the one that I'm happiest about is the fact that we've pretty much found a solution to North Beach Street. And we all agreed to that. And that's the work that the people want us to do. But they also do want us, if we have problems, to find the problems, fix them. But I don't think they want us to shoot ourselves in the foot. So with that said, that concludes my remarks. This Saturday is the Mayor's Gala to raise funds for the First Step Shelter. And we're hoping to have a good time. I hope to see you all there, Mr. Manager.
Yes, a couple of items. First, I want to also thank staff who worked this weekend. Many of you may not know that our utility staff was definitely out working because we had some small pipes bust in certain people's properties, areas, and we were trying to help them get their water back on. I received notices from Eric Smith over the weekend, so we were doing a lot of that work. But also want to say that you all may not know that we provided out of the city manager's budget to pay overtime and special detail for police officers to work at some of these shelter locations and the First Step shelter for people to come in who were out in the cold. So they wanted to make sure we had that. So we took care of that, and Chief made sure to get staff members for that at the request of the county. Also, we thank the police officers for the crackdown on the home on Beachside, but I do know that David Waller's staff members went and boarded up the house for the police department, so I wanted to thank those public works staff members as well. One of the things we've been dealing with and we've been talking about is our P&L funds. I've been working with staff and working with Attorney Gross, and we will be bringing back to you all soon a resolution establishing a P&L fee rebate and reduction program. This is something that we've talked about dealing with the Minto lawsuit. And so we're going to be bringing something back here where all those individuals who did pay permit fees for a period of time, we will create a proposal for you all to do a permit and licensing rebate and reduction program. And so those are things that have been discussed. So I just wanted to share that information with you as we get ready to prepare to bring something back to you all in the future. And I think Ben wants to say something.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add that the program will require you all to make a decision on how much you want to rebate versus reduce. It will include a reservation of all of the excess funds for that program in order to make sure, that we comply with the state statute. And it will also require a recalibration of the current permit fees, first to comply with the state statute, and then that will become the baseline off of which, if it's, any reduction occurs, and including a decision on how long the reduction would go, while you spend down, the excess funds for that purpose.
Okay. Thank you. We'll now hear from the residents of Daytona Beach.
Before we do that, Mayor, can I say one more thing, please?
Sure.
So I just want everybody to know up here, it is not personal. This is business. And when I have a commissioner over here that thinks sometimes that you should just not say anything, well, there's a sunshine law, and I cannot communicate with any of you and pick up the phone. So the only thing I can do is talk to you up here and the residents.
I agree.
So a commissioner to tell me to keep it behind the scenes, no, I work for every single resident out here. And sometimes I do, and Ben at Mr. Gross is in that room, I do come to them a lot, but I don't get answers. Actually, I'll get a comment saying, go file an ethics complaint. And believe me, it was said to me at the last agenda review. So I just want everyone to know I do go, but I got proof in front of me, and all I do is get things that people are not telling me the truth. I'm sorry, I'm a commissioner. When I lose trust, I'm going to dig, and I'm going to dig, and I'm going to make sure that I have the proper information, and I never say anything unless I have backup. Just like the Beach Street building, just like the permit mobile, when they brought it before us, Jim Morris, and said, oh, you can buy that with funds. Well, actually, you couldn't buy it with funds, and Mr. Gross will tell you too now. And so I just get tired of staff telling me one thing when I have proof that it's not right. And I'm not talking about every staff member too. I'm just talking about a few that will tell you something that is not correct. And when you have proof right in front of you, I'm not going to keep it quiet. And that's all I have to say. Good night, Daytona.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry, I wanted to say something. I neglected to invite you all that for the 6th year, the City of Daytona Beach has partnered with the MCDC, Midtown Community Development Corporation. And perhaps you've seen on International Speedway Black History banners. We're recognizing citizens who have passed on, who've made contributions to our city. Of the 12 individuals that have been identified on the manager's newsletter, I knew 10 of these people who have impacted our city and left a lasting imprint. So tomorrow, if you're free and you'd like to join us and hear the stories from the families who are honored, who are glad that we're honoring their loved one, it's really, really touching to hear them talk about these individuals before we unveil the banners. So please join us on the campus of the great Bethune-Cookman University in the Center for Civic Engagement at 10 a.m. No, it's at 11. I'm leaving my job at 10. It's at 11 a.m. And come on out and hear about these individuals. Sometimes the banners are a little hard to read when you're driving on International Speedway, but their pictures will be posted in a small blurb regarding how they contributed to our city. Will be done tomorrow. Please consider joining us.
Which two didn't you know?
I didn't know Huggins, and I didn't know Judge Hatchett personally.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's go, residents.
Okay, our first speaker tonight is Robert Atkins, and on deck is John Navarra.
Kathy, I didn't even recognize you at first.
Mayor Henry, Commission, I'm glad to be here this evening. First of all, I'm not a fifth grader, but I do understand what I've said here and learned tonight. It takes discussion. And I'm so glad that I got to see Daytona commissioners sit here with the mayor and discuss what's going on. That's great.
That is good.
Why I'm here tonight, Mayor, Commissioners. My wife and I are building a 7,000-pound granite monument recognizing Vietnam veterans that will go into the Veteran Plaza. It is scheduled to be dedicated and inducted March the 27th, which is a Friday morning at 10 a.m. I feel, and I've always spoke in this city, I am a very well-known veteran in Volusia County. I have fought for veterans, as Stacy, Commissioner Cantu can afford to can tell you, that I am well-known here and I have fight for veterans. I am going out of this world one of these days shortly because of, I want my memories, and I want all the memories of Vietnam veterans to never be forgotten. Thank you. This monument that Kathy and I have put together, we've worked on for 6 months. It is under the laser right now, coming out of Quebec, Canada. It's the same granite that's on the wall in Washington, D.C. It is black granite that comes from India. Why I'm here, Commissioners and the Mayor, I would like for you, on March 27th, the City of Daytona, to give me chairs.
Simple.
Very simple. I would like for your Parks and Recreation or whatever. I am going to have hundreds of people come to this dedication to this monument. And I want to show off. I do not want them to have to sit on the concrete over at our Veterans Plaza. So I'm asking that you authorize on that day to bring a couple hundred chairs for these average age Vietnam veterans is 80.
Wait, what is the 27th of next year?
No, of this year.
March 27th.
March 27th.
Of 26.
At 10 a.m.?
10 a.m.
Okay.
You have a personal invitation. I will have a lot of veteran dignities throughout the state here at this.
I'm planning to be there.
Can we
Two great
supply the
things
chairs?
happen. Yeah, you already said that. Yes. The
Okay.
chairs will be supplied.
If the city sees it in her heart
Let me
for
see-
a
Let me see
donation.
this. What else are you doing that day?
What else am I doing that
What
day?
else? What is there a reception?
Yes,
Okay,
it'll be a program.
there'll be a program.
There will be a program put out at the plaza.
Okay. What about the food?
Oh, there is no food. We don't eat. We're on
Y'all don't
we're
eat?
on a diet.
Okay.
We don't eat.
I mean, this wall's,
All right, we'll have at least some water and
yes.
drinks.
That would be great.
We'll take care of that.
My wife and I have spent our retirement money to make this happen. And it's going to be in the city.
We're giving it to
We're
Volusia
giving it.
County, basically.
Wow.
We've been getting, our veterans have been helping us with small donations. We're not taking large amount of monies, but we've put up the money
To
to
get
make
it done.
sure that we could get this wall.
Right.
It's a
And that we're not forgotten.
$50,000 project, and we're giving it to Volusia County. We have.
In your city.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate that. We appreciate what you've done.
Bob, if,
This is going to be awesome.
Bob, if you're going to give, if someone was going to make a donation, would they make that out to VVA or you?
No, it would go strictly to Kathy and I. It would go to Robert
But it
Atkins
has to stay
and Monument on a check.
Is it a 501c?
No, and that's why I have not
That's why we
requested.
put up
They
money,
couldn't do it.
Right. I am asking veterans to support this. It is a,
because it makes them proud. that
Yes.
they're
That they're
also-
doing it in it.
yes.
Wow. You'll have the chairs, you'll have water. If you think of something else, let me know that we can do.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
It'll be at 10 o'clock in the morning with a bunch of
I
old
mean, I
people.
doubt us all, but, it'll be beautiful.
Well, it's a celebration.
It's a
It's a
celebration.
celebration, and
We didn't want it to be just
you look good.
an organization, like, it's not the Vietnam Veterans of America or American Legion, or, it's for all Vietnam
Vietnam
veterans.
veterans.
Yeah.
There's Vietnam veterans that are sitting at home. There's, they don't come out of their house, but they'll get to see that wall.
Yeah.
They won't go to Washington to see that wall, but they'll
But they'll
see
get
that
to
wall.
see this wall
And
in
that also
Daytona
represents
Beach.
the women that were in Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at the bottom of that statue, it also has the emblem of the women
Yeah.
who served.
But I know we're not a 501c, but we're getting all personal
Donation.
donations.
And that says something too,
That's it.
doesn't it?
Yes.
God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Kathy, do you guys, is the county doing anything?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have, and Scott Olson's with
Scott,
us,
okay.
Scott's
and
involved.
Are they bringing the podium and all that?
far as we know.
Okay, do you want to call Scott and let me
Well,
know?
yeah.
Yeah.
We're finishing all everything.
Details now.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a lot of work,
Mm-hmm.
getting this on. Thank you for giving us.
Our next speaker is John Navarro, and on deck is Fred Coulter.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. A few meetings ago, on the consent agenda, it stated that the Daytona Beach Police Department was receiving a grant from the state to train them for immigration and customs enforcement duties. And I would like a copy of that training manual. My tax money supports the training and the creation of the manual. And I am in public school 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, 10 months a year, and I teach my students about participatory democracy. And I think that's very important in our country, and that the better informed we are, the better decisions we'll make as citizens. And I know that this topic in the country is very important and sensitive. And thank you, and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Fred Coulter, and on deck is Rich Yost.
I'm Fred Coulter. When I was getting my master's in public administration, one of the books I had to read was Thomas Kuhn's Structure of Scientific Revolutions. And you're sitting there going, what on earth is he talking about? Basically, it was a long study looking at how science changes over time. And what happens is scientists build up a paradigm, that's the word he used, of how the world works. And anything outside that box is almost impossible for them to deal with. After World War II, we developed a new paradigm for developing housing, for developing neighborhoods. How different is it? Well, my house was built in the 1920s. And when we replaced our roof, we discovered how my house had changed over the years. Now, I have a small house. It's like 1,300 square feet. It turns out my house has been expanded 3 times from the time it was originally built. Imagine how small that is. We can't do anything like that and then build a neighborhood where people will be able to expand their homes as time goes on. We build neighborhoods so that they have the best and final usage, and now we're complaining about low-income housing, the lack of, workforce housing, the lack of, and the affordability crisis. What we have done is built layer upon layer upon layer of regulatory headaches in our housing that makes it impossible to build low-cost housing. Even when we want to build low-cost housing, we don't sit there and carve out exceptions. We add another layer on top of the existing regulations. And the problem is, we're all in this paradigm. Last time I was here, I talked about how consultants aren't necessary except in certain conditions. This is one of those. All of our planning staff, no one lived and was doing planning before World War II. They're all growing up in the same paradigm. This is what they're used to. This is how they think. You need to bring someone from the outside to look on a fundamental level as to what we're doing in terms of development. I've heard our current development code described as written by lawyers in order to maximize billable hours. Now, that's probably being mean to lawyers, but there's probably some truth to it. We need to sit there and go back. You need to find a consultant, dig in there, and also Tallahassee has tied your hands as to what you can do. So what you need to look at what you can do within the constraints of what Tallahassee has done to see what you're doing with your development code that is actually getting in the way of development. The book I gave you does a great job of describing what is wrong with our current development codes. And this nationwide, it's not just a Daytona Beach problem. It also gives some suggested solutions. I'm not an expert. I have no idea if those solutions work. They say they do, but they're biased. But I'd recommend reading the book to really see on a fundamental level what is wrong with the way we're doing development all over the nation. This is not just a Daytona Beach or Florida problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the book.
Our next speaker is Rich Yost. I don't think he's still here. Mr. Yost? Okay. Our next speaker is Juanita Garez. And on deck is John Nicholson. No, he's not. He was going to...
Good evening. My name is Juanita Garza. Good evening, Mayor, City Manager, and Commissioners. I am a 30-plus year resident of this community. I am here tonight to formally commend our police chief and the officers involved in the recent shutdown of a drug house in our neighborhood, 401 North Oleander Avenue. For months, residents endured ongoing fear and disruption caused by drug dealers, transients, and individuals suffering from serious mental instability. Our neighborhood was effectively terrorized. There was constant traffic at all hours, criminal activity, and a general sense that our safety and quality of life had been taken from us. Families were afraid, seniors were especially vulnerable, and many of us felt unheard and exhausted. The decisive action taken by the police chief and his officers finally brought that situation to an end. By shutting down this drug house, they have started to restore peace, safety, and dignity to our neighborhood. This was not just law enforcement. It was leadership, persistence, and a clear demonstration that the concerns of residents mattered, were heard, and have been taken seriously. I want to recognize the professionalism, courage, and dedication of the officers who saw this through. To name a few, of course, our Chief Jakari Young, Lieutenant Conley, Lieutenant Gurnert, our Captain Tricia Jones, and Lieutenant David Donardi, who always prioritized our concerns when calling in for police assistance, and the many, many other officers who assisted in making this operation successful. These cases are not easy, and they often require patience, coordination, and sustained effort. The results speak for themselves. Our neighborhood is safer, calmer, and beginning to heal. Too often, we only come forward to complain. Tonight, I want it on the public record that this department did something right, and it deserves acknowledgement and gratitude. Please extend my sincere thanks and the thanks of many grateful neighbors to the police chief and all officers involved. Thank you for your time, and thank you for standing up and supporting the safety of our community.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing that, and I'm so grateful that this scourge has been removed from your neighborhood. Thank
And the
you.
chief is here.
Yes, and we hope it continues. We will be there to support you. Yes, he is. Chief, can you come out? Come out and shake this lady's hand.
He's bashful.
Yeah, well, he might be in the bathroom, but there he is. Come on.
Thank you.
She just had a
Go
couple.
ahead.
Sorry, my name is Betsy Lewis. I wanted to give you good evening, Mayor Henry and Commissioners. I wanted to add a special thanks to our Daytona Beach Mayor again, Mayor Henry, and our Commissioners, Juanita Mays. And thank you, Ms. Cantu. Appreciate both and everybody involved. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Our next speaker is John Nicholson, and on deck, is it Michelle Ute? Utter? I'm sorry.
John Nicholson, 413 North Grandview Avenue. I drive past that house all the time. It's 2 blocks from the house. I would also like to thank Code. It was full of garbage all through the lawn, and it's all gone. Paula, you've heard the phrase, been there, done that. You have not experienced this before, but in the past, about 20 years ago, somebody sat in Zone 2, and she did the exact same thing. So it's happened before. The P card was a mountain out of a molehill. There's nothing there, but it happened in the past. You remember Charles Cherry? His lunch was $100. He did a $50 tip. And they said, you can't do that. And he goes, well, you don't tell me I can't. So it has happened in the past. It will happen again. All the things on the P card were relatively minor. If you actually looked at them, it was nothing, all right? Likewise, what's happening tonight, everybody knows I get up early on Sunday mornings, have breakfast, and then I hit about 17 city properties on both sides of the river. And about a year ago, I'm driving and look at the marina, and there's 6 of these marine 250s all lined in a row. I didn't know we had a marine unit. So I had to ask the city manager, and the city manager is very nice to meet with me on a regular basis. And so I looked into it, and marine doesn't mean Army, Navy, Marine. It means water. All it is water patrol. We have a water patrol for the police, we have a water patrol for the fire department, and we have a water patrol for Code. And I was told, well, because we can't see from the roadway the docks and the seawalls, etc., that's why we need the boat and the marine unit to see from the river. Made common sense to me. The idea that we purchased them from the funds from permits and licensing is because it's in permits and licensing. So the logical place to get the funds is from permits and licensing. So the idea that they are parked at an enterprise zone has nothing to do with who purchased the automobiles. They're totally different. So you're not getting any money from the enterprise zone. You're getting it from the correct location. Now, again, I drive all the way around that every Sunday morning, the entire marina, and I walk through 3 or 4 properties. That building is there. Yes, it's an enterprise zone. Yes, we have, I think, 3 departments in that building. We have a water and sewer department is in that building. So we have several departments. Why have it empty? The reason why they put them in there is because we don't have enough room in City Hall to hire or to have all of our employees at City Hall. We need to use other spaces as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Michelle Utter, and on deck is William Biddorf.
I was surprised that some of you were shocked to see me, or I don't know if you remembered me or not, but I had spoken before. I have lived here all my life. I took the COVID vaccine, and 40 minutes after I took it, I ended up not able to walk. I have chronic inflammation, demyelation, polyneuropathy. I have POTS. I have, it gave me Lyme. It gave me Epstein-Barr. I have all kinds of issues now. It's pushed me into cancer. I used to teach martial arts. I used to do Spartan races. I was a kick butt kind of girl. I raised 3 sons that are in the Navy, and I'm a descendant from Calvin Coolidge. I got the paperwork. So I'm a pretty cool person, but it's turned me into a nasty person because I trusted the science and I trusted my government. And once you're hurt by the government, not one person helps you. Not one person. I have lost everything because I've had to fight for my life. Even being on Governor DeSantis' roundtable, I do not respect him. He used me as a prop for political gains along with the other 3. I have done my best. But in the meantime, until everyone realizes that vaccine injuries do happen, they do occur, they're not rare. There's people out there, there's many people out there, and we're needing help. So I find it funny also that you guys didn't know about the surveillance that was going on during the COVID vaccine, because that's how they found out that the COVID was coming, it was going, kind of thing. You can find it on the CDC website, you can find it on the NIH website. There's plenty of places, and I'll be glad to give you that information. But because of my injuries, I'm on $20,000 worth of medication because I have mixed autoimmune issues. Without my medications, I'm bedbound. I can't do anything. And that's IVIG. How would you like to be hooked up to something 6 hours a week? It's a constant reminder of me being screwed by my government. And that's the absolute truth. And I'm tired of people saying, I'll pray for you, I'll pray for you. I'll tell you when you can pray for me. God kept me alive for a reason. And I'm going to continue to speak out until people realize that our government lied, people died, and we're not going to take this anymore. And my government, because they left me this way, they can bite me. Have a nice night.
Our next speaker is William Biddorf, and on deck is Jaleesa McIntyre.
Hello, my name is William Biddorf. I live at 402 East International Speedway Boulevard in Daytona Beach. I had one question. That information that got brought up about the trucks, when did we get that? How long did you get a chance to disseminate that information to answer? Mr. Gross?
Didn't go to Mr. Gross. It went to, when did you say y'all got it?
You got like at 6:45 p.m. today or yesterday?
Today.
Today? And then it got brought up in the meeting tonight?
It was her presentation.
Oh, okay.
But actually, I discussed those trucks in my agenda review as well.
Okay.
And Mr. Gross.
Okay. Well, as I said, I got some positive things to talk about. and the inspiration from all of you up here, actually, especially you and actually all of you actually up here, actually, pretty much, and you, Paula. I got to, at my charity, I have a Narcan machine, and I've been Narcanning people, and they got to me and they got me to start, actually making me account for everybody. We actually ended up Narcanning 140 people within just over a short of a month, just over 30 days on East ISB area in our great city. That's a lot of people, right? But let's just say, let's look at the positive. The positive is your inspiration, especially you, Mr. Strickland, and you, Juanita. I've been trying to help people. We were actually to help, I'm sure, hopefully, most of those people will live because of you, all of you. And I have nothing negative to say. What I'd like to see is, like you said, Mr. Henry, is let's all try to at least get along, because it looks bad as I try to bring developers in here and from other places. Like my coworker, Laura's try to bring the people from NASA here to Daytona. And here we are, we're having people bring up arguments, and I'm trying to bring developers here because I'm inspired by the leadership, your leadership and other leadership up here. And I have nothing but positive things to say, and I respect everybody up here. So I thank you, and I thank everybody for their enthusiasm and their hard work.
And thank you for the positive email that we received this week.
You're very welcome.
Yep.
Our next speaker is Jaleesa McIntyre, and on deck is Greg Gimbert.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jaleesa McIntyre. I'm a representative from a large nonprofit called Sunrise Community. We are located on 1100 Jimmy Ann Drive, and we help adults and some children now with intellectual disabilities. We are the largest organization in the state, and we've been doing what we've been doing for over 65 years. One of the things that is special about our Daytona Beach facility is that we do provide jobs and employment for our persons that we support. And one of those special jobs that we do is making ornaments. I've actually gifted, we've been here to gift some of you guys some ornaments. But my real reason for being here is because we want to help get our people that we support more integrated into the community, and we want to build community partnerships with the rest of Daytona Beach. And we're also a nonprofit, so we are always in need of help. Like, for instance, a lot of our homes, they want grills, they want more volunteers to come out, things of that nature. So we want to spread the word about what it is we do, where we're at. I wasn't here when it used to be called WORC, but that's what the building used to be. And so now Sunrise Community runs that building, and we have tried to maintain that reputation and even grow it. And like I said, we operate 20% of facilities within the state of Florida that does this. So we're fairly large, fairly reputable. And I've given my information before, but I do have some postcards that share a little blurb about what it is we do, my information, and I do have some waivers that explains the services that we provide, and we are 100% free through the state. So if you know anybody who has a developmental disability that is in need, you can refer them to us, because that is exactly what we're here to do. We're here to help. We're here to be here for our community. And also, come buy an ornament, Come support our organization, come support our clients. They make them themselves at the ceramic studio. It's a wonderful, beautiful process. And you guys are more than welcome to come take a tour. Please come out for a tour.
I've been.
We are here, and we're more than happy to welcome you to our property. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. I've been on a tour, and it is a important part of our community, and your work is very important. Not seen, not known a lot about, but you service a population that oftentimes society tries to hide from, and we don't necessarily appreciate them as much as we should. So we appreciate your work.
Thank you. Please come out. Come see your people.
Tish, did I give them a donation before? Can you double check for me?
I'll double check.
Thank you. I think I did. If not, I had promised them that
Okay.
when they came to, they actually came.
Yeah, so we have a person who tables to help sell our ornaments in the community, because it is literally one person running that program at our facility. We also have a wood shop, and they cut something called rebarb. I don't know what that is, but it's a thing. It's
Yes,
important.
It is. It
so,
is. Yeah.
you know, if you're your rebarb cut.
They were a vendor at the,
At your neighborhood.
at my neighborhood market.
Yeah,
and
she
they
does
were
that.
selling. Yes, and they were selling their little ornaments.
Yeah, so if you need an
Really
ornament,
nice.
it doesn't have to be for Christmas. We got Christmas in July. We got desk
Sell it,
things.
sell it, sell it.
Yes. Come get it. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. That was good.
And Jaleesa, if you want to give any of your information to the deputy city clerk there, we'll make sure that all the commission gets it. Okay. Our next speaker is Greg Gimbert, and on deck is Stephen Miller.
Man, who are you people? This ain't the commission I left before. Y'all went from fighting with the people to fighting for the people. And y'all may be going round and around with each other, but it's pretty clear that y'all all come to it honestly. And I know something about coming to an argument honestly.
That's true.
And that's all I saw tonight. So just to get to the point, Stacy was right, Derek was right, Ken was brave, and I was wrong. And I only got a couple minutes to say it, so I'll start where I ended. I've tried a long time to protect us from this coming stampede of toilet to tap. And I would have done anything short of go to jail to make it happen. And I didn't always treat people fairly. And I owe Derek Henry an apology for some of the things that I did to try to force this issue. And I owe Mr. Strickland the same thing. I was wrong.
Well, I will say your apology is accepted. And
Next,
appreciate it.
thank you. Derek was right when he said that it's y'all's place to carry our message up. We've got this backwards communication of government. They're pushing down on us when the message is supposed to go up from us, from me to y'all, from y'all to the county and up to the state and so on. So with all due respect, Derek was right. And so was Stacy. Because y'all all are under the gun and under the watchful eye. Right, wrong, or otherwise, y'all think, you look dysfunctional, but actually you're functioning better than I've ever seen. And tonight, best of all. Tonight, best of all. You've got the CRA renewal on Beach Street that I bet you're a little nervous about. And the last thing y'all need is somebody going through your financials again. So there might have been a way to do some of the things we did. Maybe it was quick and expedient, but maybe to process the funds transfer in a way that's more transparent and more authentic would get rid of the appearance of impropriety. And last but not least, Ken was brave. It's easy to fight with somebody, but the hardest thing is to be brave to stand alone. And you went first tonight and you made this possible. So thank you for being brave and strong. And y'all keep doing what you're doing. Everybody should go home a winner tonight. Y'all killed it. This ain't the commission I left 4 years ago. So thank you. That's it.
Good night.
Our next speaker is Stephen Miller, and on deck is it Laura Wagers? Wagers, okay.
Steve Miller, 383 Walnut Street, beautiful Daytona Beach, Florida. I just wanted to come up to invite you guys to the Midtown Neighborhood Watch meeting for February. We have the Honorable Hubert Grimes, former Circuit Court Judge, interim president of Cookman, former, and we're going to celebrate Black History Month on the 9th, which is Monday, the second Monday of each month. And we thank you, Ms. Paula Reed, for supporting our Neighborhood Watch. And the second thing, at my last Midtown meeting, Captain Cundy talked about the gunfire down in south part of our community, South Street area. There's a lot of gunfire going on. And he talked about the need for more cameras in that particular area. So I'm here tonight to ask, beg, plead that we get more cameras in that particular neighborhood, because the last thing we want to do is have somebody to die and not know who did it. So thank you for that. And I also want to thank the Parks and Recreation Department, because they've been advertising the Midtown Neighborhood Watch, and I'm so grateful. And I just love the fact that we have these signs all over the neighborhood, Mr. Mayor, that we find out things that are happening in our community in advance. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for your support, and we're looking forward to you guys coming out to our Neighborhood Watch, which is the second Monday of each month. And the mayor promised to come out in the next couple of months to speak to us.
I'm sorry, I missed that. What was the area that needed the extra cameras? South Street? Okay, thank you.
In fact, we have the chief of police here, because I haven't heard it from the chief. I heard it from Captain Cundy, who is a liaison person from the department. And he stated that there's a lot more gunfire going on in that particular area, and that we have a need for cameras in that particular area. And by the way, I also want to say thank you to Mr. Strickland. He actually, when he purchased cameras for Beachside, he also purchased some of the cameras for the Midtown area. However, we need more. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Laura Wagers, and on deck is Ken Southall.
Hello, good evening. My name is Laura Wagers, and I'm speaking as a concerned resident and business owner in this community. I use water with my NASA-endorsed systems and my company Evoke Aura Wellness LLC. I understand that our county is discussing water reuse and/or toilet-to-tap practices as a possible response to growth and water demand. While I respect long-term planning, I want to be very clear, our drinking water should never be an experiment. Water is not just a resource, it is something that is every family and every child, every senior, and every person with health conditions depends on daily. Once public trust in our water system is damaged, it can't be rebuilt. Even with advanced treatment, accidents happen, systems fail, oversight changes, budgets get cut. And when that happens, it is just the public who has to bear the risks, not the consultants or the contractors. Mr. Bitorf, my business partner and the 501c3 charity person that I've been working with for the last 6 months, will verify that we're struggling to work as hard as we can to get people to come and attract themselves to Daytona, just because the longstanding, I will say, negative energy that it's kind of left with it sometimes. And I hate to say that, because I've left a whole nother town, hours away, family in Jacksonville, and been here working almost 10-hour days by myself with no one to give me any credit, pat on the back for it, because I believe that we will be able to achieve a new look, a new feel, a new vibration, and a new light if everybody just puts something in. This whole entire group of people up here, I'm so honored to even be able to speak with you guys. Thank you for letting me speak. It's very important. Water is so crucial. It's like one of the only things that we really should be given, So with that, I say thank you for letting me speak, and also for all the hard work you guys do and the quality control within each one of your positions. Much respect. That's it.
Our next speaker is Ken Southall, and on deck is Ted Hordecki.
Good evening. Name is Ken Southall. And I must say that the flood has always been my pet peeve. And I see that the cold chain have changed, and the homes are being built, especially in the flood zone, from 3, 4, 6 feet high above the ground compared to what it was. And I'm happy with that. But I've also got a problem, and it may not be a problem because the mayor been a teacher for some years. And my problem is that seems to me that the kids are not getting consumer economics, not learning how to balance the checkbooks and stuff like that. We need that, and because the average kid that goes out there, the first thing you do is buy a car, and they're overwhelmed in debt, and no way to get out. And the prices of homes now are so outrageous that they can't afford anything. And with compound interest, they never get a chance to pay for anything. They're always in debt, even at 5%. Multiplied by 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 15, $20,000 on a compound basis. Your average paying from a third to a half on interest, less on principal. And my question is, why do we allow the school system to operate that way? I don't understand it. And my question is, how do we go by changing this thing? Then give the kids another way out. My granddaughter is going to Vanderbilt. She got 5 years. And the first thing they taught her, or going to teach her, is finance. Now, she never got that in school, but she's getting it there. They saying when you finish Vanderbilt, you're debt-free. Debt-free. And that's everybody that goes to Vanderbilt. So I'm proud of her, but I wish that could apply to everyone. At least they'll know. I didn't teach, but I got consumer economics when I was in the 7th grade. And the teacher told me, well, class, you may be poor, but if you take care of your credit, you can always get something. And never buy anything that's perishable before it's paid for. Now, if we can teach our kids just that, that'll take them a long ways. So I'm asking for your help in trying to address this problem if it's possible.
Mr. Southall.
Yes, sir.
There is a personal finance course that is a state requirement. And I believe, did your granddaughter go to a public school?
Yes.
Ask her, did she take that class? It's a high school course. My son just recently completed it. He's a middle school student, but he takes.
Well, why come we can't make it a requirement that the kids take this class?
I believe it is a state requirement. But
Because mine didn't take it.
Yeah.
My son didn't take it.
They didn't have it then.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't have it when I was in school. It's a new course.
So how do we play catch up?
Yeah. But you're right. It is something that's still needed.
And I was talking to one of the bankers, about a month or so ago, and he's telling me that this is a problem.
It is a problem.
It's a problem, and he said we would have personnel that come in and can teach these class for those kids, but they don't take advantage of it. Why?
Thank you, sir.
We got you. I understand what you're saying, but I am saying that it is a state requirement now. We have a generation of people, I believe, who missed it, though. Thank you.
Generation?
A generation.
How long it take for a generation to catch up? I'm just asking.
Thank you, sir.
I don't have the answer to that. All right, thank you.
Our final speaker tonight is Ted Hordecki.
Ted Hordecki, 113 Braddock Avenue, Daytona Beach, Florida. I personally like to thank everybody up here for their service. Every one of you. I know you work hard. It don't seem like it sometimes, but I know you do. And I'm sorry, lately the world's been going a little crazy. But on behalf of B&W, I'd like to thank everybody who's donated in the past, the future, and the present for the cookout for the Daytona Police Department. It's a big success. We feed a lot. We got a good menu, and they really appreciate it, and I'd like to thank you. The other announcement by B&W is there's no meeting tomorrow night at Lady Alord's Neighborhood Watch because of the Italian Fest going on. So it was canceled. Thank you. I don't know if these seats are new or I put weight on, but boy, the springs are gone in the back row. So it was really a good time tonight. And on another thought, I just wanted everyone to know, I was driving through Jacksonville and I was listening to a show, and Tallahassee's getting down on Jacksonville about how they're running their town and they're going to have problems and this and that. And when I've come to the conclusion, I've been gone for 6 months or whatever, So I've been reading a lot, and people gotta vote. But I'm learning I can't vote and get just involved local anymore, okay? I'm starting, New Smyrna Beach has got problems with the commission. Port Orange has got problems on the commission. The county commission has got problems. Live Local, 180, and they're trying to push a lot of stuff through right now in Tallahassee. Myself, I'm gonna get involved, donations, shaking signs, reading, and motivating people. We need change because it just seems that everything turns into politics. And you know, what people say, what people do, and a lot of this stuff is, I think, could be solved. I just think our system and who we're electing and how we elect them has been wrong as of quite a while. And I think we're paying a consequence for that. So I'm saying is to the people who vote, do your research, but it's no longer local, because what's happening in Port Orange, thank goodness everybody's getting galvanized away from Daytona. Port Orange, New Smyrna, everybody's up in arms. If you read the sites, read the papers. But when I went to Tallahassee and heard that they're having trouble, and that's a big municipality, we gotta vote, and we gotta vote for change. And that's all I got. And thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, Daytona Beach.